home one night. Said, let's start with a kiss, it'll be alright. But now she might have a bun in the oven times two, and neither of them knows what to do. It's a blow by blow. Who's the daddy show? Is it twins from a blowjob? Oh, I don't know. Paternity tests and lawyers in sight. This crazy situation just ain't right. He swears he's not the one to blame. Says it's biologically insane. But she's pointing fingers, shouting loud, while the lawyers gather in the legal crowd. It's a blow by blow. Who's the daddy show? Is it twins from a blowjob? Oh, I don't know. Paternity tests and lawyers in sight. This crazy situation just ain't right. Now legal vices, he takes a drink, says let's settle this without the legal stink. He challenges her lawyer, please be better. We don't need another bad letter. So let's raise a glass to this legal brawl. May sanity prevail and pride take a fall. Twins from a blowjob, what have you to hide? But let's find some peace, let your conscience be your guide.
Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, everybody. How are you? What are you doing? Who are you doing it with? I don't want to know all that information. Just whatever you're doing and whoever you're doing it with and all that stuff. I'm just glad you're doing it here with me. It is time again to catch up on some more Laura Owens and Clayton Echard stuff. We didn't get through much last time because we had everybody. We had everybody on stream, and we kind of get derailed occasionally. But today's going to be all about laser focus. We're going to be laser focused. We're not going to get off in the weeds. We're not going to get distracted. We're not going to let our sidetracking get sidetracked. We're going to have a good show today, I think, because we do have to catch up on a few things, and mostly surrounding the motion to dismiss and the reply. We're going to look at the reply to the motion to dismiss, and then the reply to the motion to dismiss, and then the judge. I'm sure most, if not all of you, know the judge has issued the ruling in the case. We will read the incredible ruling of Judge Mata in this deal. Now there's still the pending issue of a new judge. That has not been decided yet. So there's still at least one more motion out in the wings, and then depending how that comes down, assuming that there's no new judge assigned, looks like we're officially off in appeals land, which means if this goes through, it's going to be a while before we hear anything official. I'm sure there still might be stuff going on in Twitter and whatnot, but if the appeal goes. If the appeal goes through, if it goes forward with the appeal, then appeals land starts. It slows the game way down, and it'll be a long time before there's anything official. Let's see. Looking through, we got 130 people here this morning already, and the number is increasing, but we've only got 81 likes. Yeah, come on, 40 people, get down there. 40, 50, I guess 50 people now. Get down there and smash that like button. And today's like and subscribe poll needs a little bit of an explanation. Today, it's very simple. Should I try to get Dave Gingras on as a guest and interview him? I'm serious about that. But it's a multifaceted thing. One, he has to want to do it. Let's assume for the sake of argument, or arguendo, as lawyers like to say, in arguendo, let's assume that he wants to do it, which I think he should. I think he should want to do it, because one of the very first things he ever said once he made his appearance on the Laura Owens stage was that There's nobody getting her side of the story out. Everybody's publishing his side of the story, but nobody's publishing her side of the story. Nobody's my first deal, the first day I covered this, I had Dave Neal on. And I told him, I said, look, I don't know what's going on in this case. I'm going to hear Echard's side of the story through you. But, I must keep an open mind about these things. And at that point, Laura Owens was sending around cease and desist letters to everybody that even took a sniff of her case. I never got one. I feel glad, but also I kind of feel left out. I feel a little left out of the party. But I said, the same invitation is open to Laura Owens. If she wants to come on the stream and tell her side of the story, I will give her 2 hours. I will give her 2 hours of respectful time. Of course, that never happened. And then Jingers started to hit away cable. And then he started his, nobody's hearing her side of the story. And that's sort of been a refrain through the entire process. It goes back to the, but he's out on the stage and nobody's listening to her. And he just brought this up again the other day that, Echard's out giving interviews and doing all these things, but nobody's talking to her. Her side of the story is not getting out. So, that's one reason I want to do this. And that's one reason I think that he should want to do this. Because someone who's legitimately giving him a platform to discuss his side of the situation is willing to do so. Another element of it is that it would require, I believe, a lot of restraint from you people, from people in chat. If I'm able to get this interview locked down, and if he is a guest on the show, chat would have to be on absolute best behavior. It'd have to be on your best behavior, because that's just like one of the few rules I have is when I have a guest on, we don't shit on the guest. We don't abuse the guest. You can have opinions and things and ask questions, but just to be mean and to say mean and nasty stuff, etc. That wouldn't work, because A, he would probably bail on the interview, and 2, it would make me look bad, and 3, we'd lose whatever we would get out of it. So that would be a big thing. I'm sure a lot of people would be watching, but it would have to be best behavior. And another aspect of it would be, I wouldn't have him on here to humiliate him. This is kind of the big thing from my side. Your side would just to be, shh. That would be your side. Just rein it in a little bit. My side would be, the interview would not be a setup. It wouldn't be just to bring him on here to humiliate him and to grill him incessantly about why about the case and his client and what. There would still be a lot he can't talk about just because of attorney-client privilege and stuff like that. But I wouldn't have him on here just to crucify him. It would be a legitimate interview. Where I talked about this a little bit last time, and I know I've talked about it before. I'm very, very interested in what makes people tick, why people do things the way they do them. The sort of the people's life story, the background, what makes them who they are. Are they the same in public, at work, and at home, or do they have a public persona, a work persona, and a home persona? Those are the things that fascinate me. And, I want to know about his background. I want to know what makes him who David Gingras is. I want to know why he took the approach of coming out on Twitter, guns blazing. As I said the other day, from step one, he chose violence. And I want to know things like that. So if this happens, and of course, I've just spent 10 minutes hypothesizing here. See, Henrietta, you might be right. You say he's not that interesting, but we don't know. We don't know. And he may not be interesting, but the story of how he became who he is may be fascinating. It may be a very, very interesting story. And Henrietta says, you don't have your money, sucks. I don't think he sucks. I really don't. It took him to bring this matter actually to an end. If he hadn't, every other lawyer has failed to get it to court. Every other lawyer has failed to get her a hearing. He managed to get her a hearing. He managed to sort of navigate this ship to a judgment. So if he hadn't been here, we'd probably still be wandering around in the weeds, and she'd probably still be doing stuff, and Echard would probably still be doing stuff, and they wouldn't be at a hearing yet. So I think he provided the focus, whether you agree or disagree with how he did it and what he did along the way. He did bring it to a conclusion, which, and he's not new at being a lawyer. So yeah, I'm seriously thinking about it, but so far chat says 82% yes and 18% no. Roy Lawson says, listen, you call him out on the blatant lies. It's just another platform. See, he can't talk about his client's case much. I mean, the attorney-client privilege is still there. And besides, I don't want to choose violence the way that he came out on Twitter doing so. I'm just going to go, oh yeah, this happened, and he said this, and then she said this, and then she said this, and then she lied about that, and then it doesn't. It's not productive, and I genuinely want a productive discussion with this guy. So I'm thinking about it. And it would get him to the point where he can no longer say nobody will let them tell their side of the story. It would take away that excuse. So I don't know. I'm thinking about it. I'll make a decision over the weekend. I just don't want 1,000 people to go, oh my God, you had him on, I'm going to unsubscribe. Nah, no. We're better than that. We're asking him to be better. That's been our refrain on this case for the past several months, is be better. So if we're going to ask someone else to be better, if we're going to ask him to be better in the way he presents things and the way he argues things, then we need to be better as well. Oh, we would definitely talk. That's what I was saying. I mean, why did you choose violence on the way out? Why are you? And those would be legitimate questions. Why are you wishing death on people? Why did you? Why did you choose to make comments about people taking the short bus or whatever that comment was? I mean, definitely, we would definitely ask him, because those are the things I'm interested in. Why would you do this? So that's kind of my thoughts. But so I'll think about it for another couple days, because I am so curious about things like that. I'm the kind of guy that if someone dislikes me, especially if someone is like, I don't even know this person and they hate me. I mean, if I've done something shitty to them and they and they hate me, or if I've said I hate them first, I get it. But if it's just like somebody out there, if I hear through the grapevine, one of my friends go, do you know this guy was like talking shit about you, or my first reaction is I want to go to the guy and go, why? Tell me why. Why do you hate me? Let's talk this. I'm curious. Let's talk this out. That's me. Oh, hell. Cats in Virginia. The number of people that dislike me is phenomenal. But all right, before we get into this, Nick Stara with the sexy 50 Norwegian monies. I know it annoys everybody, but hey, just kidding. Thank you for these Swedish krona, Nick. It's good to see you. We've been two ships passing in the night. See, it's a thing. This is probably why Nick hates me, because there's whenever we call it Norwegian money. Then when we get our favorite Norwegian chatter sending the money, I tell them it's Swedish money, and then chat's confused and they start yelling at me, and Nick probably hates me too. But have Jingers on your F at Friday, Jeff. Oh, I will say that won't happen. I will say there's probably not an invite to F and Friday coming for him. What could go wrong? Just stir that steaming pile of filth, Nick. Just stir that steaming pile of filth. That ain't gonna happen though. So, well, that kind of takes care of the housekeeping stuff, plus my 15-minute discussion on what is very likely to never happen. But now that we're there, now that we've got, that wasn't 18 minutes of bullshit. That was like 18 minutes of good stuff. My dog was squeaking for a minute. What was that? Doggy. What are you doing? Hey. Oh. Got a squeak toy on the other side of the mouth where I couldn't hear it. My dog is squeaking. That was odd. But Strawberry has like a big squeezy like Kong bone, and it has a just didn't know she had it. I was like, that was weird. Okay. now that that's out of the way, we need to get into Clayton Echard's response. I think. Is that what it be? Response to the change. Yes. This is the response. No? All right. What the hell's going on here? Did I bring it? I brought up the wrong damn document. Hang on. Apologies. All right. Let's see. The document I need is not here. Change of judge. There we go. That's the one I need. I'm like, but I just did this one. There. All right. There's the motion to set aside. That's what we did last time. Now we got to do the response to the. There we go. I think I've got everything here. Yes, I do. All right, we are good. Change of judge. That's what we're looking at today. I guess what we should do before we look at, I was kind of toying around with the order in which to do things. I'm going to change my order. I was going to go, because we did the motion to set aside last time. And then what I was going to do today was first start off with the notice of change of judge for cause, why the judge should be taken off the case. Then I was going to read the response to the change of judge. And then I was going to read the decision. But I'm going to read the decision, not on the judge thing, but on the motion to set aside. Let's do that. Let's read because he made this big long motion that we went through last time. This motion to set aside, And what were some of the main points in that? It was just they were so odd that I kind of forgot what the main points were. Where are we at here? Yeah, the motion to set aside. They gave the big factual history. Oh, you know what? I lied. No. The motion to change for judge is what I read last time. So, all right, guys, you got to forgive me. It's 10:25 a.m. I woke up 30 minutes ago, like 5 minutes. It was just like roll out of the sack and jump here. All right, just forget everything I said the last 3 minutes. Welcome to Boomerland, I guess. We read the motion for a change of judge last time. And there was all of the reasons that was the 211-page motion he filed. The judge, she conducted the improper investigation into the facts. She Googled stuff like Planned Parenthood. She had an improper ex parte, out of court discussion with her father. Showed judicial bias because her father allegedly shows up and he doesn't even know if the father was actually there, let alone if the father was actually there, what he actually said. But he's got some speculation and somehow he's using that as a basis, this pure speculation, as a grounds for disqualifying the judge. There was the Dave Neal and Megan Fox are talking about this. They're talking to the father. There's all the pretrial bias. Those were what now we want to look at the response to that. My brain has clicked into gear. We're all on the same page now. So let's bring up the response to the change of judge, the response to the request. Where are we at here? We can stop that screen and bring up this screen. I want to become a super famous YouTuber where I can have someone else do this for me. I can be like Rush Limbaugh, Snurdly, bring this up. And, I need a Snurdly. Where are we at here? Winder. There's the Winder. Gotcha. The response to notice of change of judge. Well, where the original motion the original notice of change of judge for cause was 211 pages long. This is 5. This is a little more manageable. So we've got this good. Ladies and gentlemen, let's look at Greg Woodnick's response to the demand that the judge be taken off this case. Pursuant to Rule 61D1, Respondent Clayton Echard hereby responds to Petitioner Laura Owens' notice of change of judge for cause, filed July 8th, 2024, and requests the court deny the notice as untimely. All right, that's a good way to start. It's untimely, which he's going to argue means it's filed late, which is interesting. That's an interesting deal. It's usually Jingers that's pounding the table and going, "You're not following the rules. You're not filing things on time. You're not giving us appropriate notice." That's usually Jingers' bailiwick. The rules, the letter over the intent. But here we have Woodnick coming out of the Woodnick. Here we have Woodnick coming out of the woodwork. With his own rule blast right out of the gate. Well, let's see what this rule blast is, shall we? All right. So it's untimely. It's a lawyer talk for you done filed late. Respondent also objects to the salacious allegations. Ooh, salacious. Salacious is a good word. Objects to the salacious allegations contained in petitioner's filings. Gross misrepresentations. Reckless incendiary comments. Ooh, he even brings the spice, the fiery comments. The reckless incendiary comments impugning the integrity of Judge Mata. This is a very, very good strategy. This is a very, very good thing to do. What Woodnick is doing, because Gingras spent many, many pages just defecating upon Judge Mata, just shitting on her. And right out of the gate, then this is another judge that this is being sent to. This is not Judge Mata looking at this. This is the chief judge, the presiding judge, Rhonda Fisk. He's saying, look, how dare he say these things about a sitting judge? How dare he? How dare he impugn the integrity of a robe-wearing, court-ruling judge like you? And that's going to endear. That's going to score him some endearment points with the court. And just in case he wanted to make sure that the impugning the integrity of Judge Mata, what he meant, it's right down here in the footnote. Counsel's comments that Judge Mata was trying to impress her father. Look at me, Daddy, I'm a real judge now. Just watch me destroy a young woman's life because the other party was on The Bachelor. Just in case you forgot what was said. And David, no, don't. Why? This is one thing that I definitely want to ask him. What on earth made you put stuff like this in your motions? Why would you do this? What are you trying to get out of it? But anyway, that's going back to square one. So the impugning the integrity of Judge Mata and insufficient grounds to find bias on the merits. But the court need not reach the sufficiency of the grounds because the notice is irredeemably time barred. Too late and appropriately invoked. Time bar refers to in a criminal case, you would call it statute of limitations. It's the time in which you have to do something about it. A time bar in a civil case, that it's the period of prescription, I like to call it, because it makes me the period of prescription sounds better than time bar, and I can bill more money if I say the period of prescription. But it's like you have 30 days in which to do this. You have a time limit of 30 days. If you go 31 days, that has become time barred. It's been barred because of the lapse of time. Ooh, doesn't that make me sound smart? So he's basically saying, we could talk about all this. We could talk about the comments and impugning the integrity of the judge. We could talk about the insufficient grounds to find bias on the merits, but we don't have to because this is just late. We could do all that, but we don't have to because he missed the deadline. So we're going to see a rule-based response here. The response memorandum. Neither ARS, this Arizona rules of something. Anyway, neither this statute nor its implementation via Rule 6.1 permits change of judge by affidavit of bias and prejudice after final trial. Okay, well that makes sense because that's what I was saying the other day. It's how do you change a judge after the trial is over? I mean, yeah, I'm not an Arizona lawyer, but that don't make a lot of sense. Here is my final ruling on the case. We want a new judge. It doesn't make logical sense. Maybe there's something you can do about it in Arizona, but it seems that the Woodnick is going, nope. The law Rax is correct. You can't permit a change of judge by affidavit of bias and prejudice after the final trial. I mean, it makes sense, doesn't it? That You can't go to a restaurant, order your food, eat your food, they give you the bill, and then you go, you know what? That food sucked. I want a new plate of food. That was terrible. They're gonna look at you and you go, but you ate the whole damn thing. How can you say it's bad and demand more food if you ate the whole damn thing? And this is what that is. This is going, but the judge was there the entire time, like a long ass time, even before you were involved in this case. And your involvement stretches back months and months, all the way up through the hearing, right to a judgment. And now you're asking for a new plate of food. You're asking for a new judge. Again, maybe it is possible under Arizona law, but, you know, it doesn't make sense. People do that all the time with the food. Yeah, they do. Yeah, people do that all the time, sadly. But unlike a restaurant who is often concerned about Yelp and customer satisfaction, courts don't usually bend to that sort of stuff. So, anywho, let's look closer at this. The history of common law peremptory challenge. Arizona long acknowledged a right to change judges upon filing an affidavit of reasonable belief of bias and prejudice. Stevens v. Stevens, Allen v. Allen. Ooh, there's anytime you see the same name in a court case, like Allen v. Allen, Stevens v. Stevens, Kramer versus Kramer, it's a divorce case. One side of the Stevens family is suing the other side of the Stevens family. So it's, and you know, in those cases, like maybe somebody knows the judge, then they go, all right, we need to do this. So if you have a reasonable belief or bias of prejudice, you can file an affidavit seeking a new judge. And in most places, they're fairly open to those. It seems Arizona is also included in that. Early territorial statutes codified this right, and it was later implemented by procedural rules. Ooh, let's highlight that so we can get back to it and go down and see what these amazing procedural rules are. The Civil Code 1913, yes, Section 500 especially, can be traced with functionally identical language through to ARS. So basically, they've had the same by the 1955 reorganization of the laws of the Arizona revised statutes as ARS. So basically, they're saying this statute has basically been untouched since 1913. So we're looking at 111 years. This language has been in the law. The functionally identical to the 1913 Civil Code provision, which itself gave form to its common law antecedent. Okay. And an 1887 territorial code provision. All right, so now we're going back to it's sort of kind of been around since 1887. The court must reassign the action to another judge if there's an application, if there is an appearance of bias and sorry. Let's get back up here, shall we? Early territorial statutes codified this right and implemented, and it was later implemented by procedural rules. Although the Supreme Court has refined the procedures, the right itself is not sourced from the procedural rules. So we have this statute that's been around in some form since like around 1887 that says if you believe the judge, if it's a reasonable belief that the judge has some sort of bias or prejudice, you can request a new judge. But there's a time limit on this. There's a time limit. Time limit for challenge via affidavit of bias and prejudice. And before we get there, Amber with the blonde hair. Hello, Amber with the blonde hair. And if that is you in the profile picture, you do, in fact, have blonde hair. So that's good to note. Amber with the blonde hair, how you doing? With the $2 super chat, will you be covering the Sarah Boone updates? I need to do a big Sarah Boone update, because assuming that the October trial happens somehow through the grace of whatever law beings are up there, we need to catch up. I'm basically behind. I haven't read the 573 page crayon written note to the judge and etc. Yeah, we are behind, so I've got a lot of catching up to do on the Sarah Boone case. So yes, the answer to that is yes. Now that we no longer have any immediate big trials to cover on the horizon, October still isn't quite at the horizon yet. So yeah, we'll look at it. Ooh, Marilyn Leo says, "Hey there, Silver Fox." Well, hey there, Marilyn. How you doing? Get those updates zipped up tight. We've got so much to do. Karen Reed and Baldwin put us way behind everything. So, all right, let's get back to this time bar. Let's get back to this time limit. The relevant language of the statute as it exists today is functionally identical to the 1913 code provision, which itself gave form to its common law antecedent and an 1887 territorial code provision. The court must reassign the action to another judge to preside at the trial of the action. Okay, that's the important, he's put it in quotes, to preside at the trial of the action upon a party filing an affidavit showing cause to believe and actual belief that she cannot obtain a fair and impartial trial on account of the bias of the judge. Basically, if they make the assertion, if they can prove that they are actually biased or they are actually concerned about bias, they have an actual belief that there is bias, then they have to assign a new judge to, quote, preside at the trial of the action. That's the magic words I think we're going to be looking at here. The language of the statute in 1915 was in all essentials identical to the language of the statute today. That was in a 1963 case, and the law apparently hasn't changed since then. The Hodor decisions reiterates that sorry, I don't know where that came from. See? Yeah. Anyway, before we get too far out in the weeds, I'm going to reel myself back in. The Hodor decision reiterates that change of judge upon a time. Okay, we're underlining timely filed again. Upon a timely filed affidavit works automatically. Hordick at 193. As to, I'm going to start pronouncing that hord. Well, it's God, my brain. I'm trying to think which sounds better, Hordick or Hordike. Neither one of them in my brain sounds good, so we'll just call it the Hodor. We'll call it the Hodor case. Well, we've got a raid from who is raiding us? I see it says raid. Where's? Well, I know it came from Game of Thrones, Flux. I just know. I mean, why did it come into my brain and then, where oh, Megan Fox is here. Hey, it's a Megan Fox raid, everybody. And everybody that's raiding from Megan Fox, make sure you hit that like button and do all the YouTube-y stuff. And by YouTube-y stuff, I mean super chat and and subscribe. And no, just do the subscribe and like thing. But welcome, everybody. All right, so because I can't figure out which pronunciation Hordick or Hordike is worse, we're just going to go with the Hodor decision. The Hodor decision reiterates that change of judge upon a timely filed affidavit works automatically. Hodor at 193. As to filing the affidavit in time, Hodor approves and expands on Stevens and Allen, both of which endorse strict limits on to filing before final trial. Stevens held that filing 1 day before trial did not waive the right, but Allen held that a party filing the affidavit after trial had already commenced did not act with diligence sufficient to require the trial court to take cognizance of her application. That means you didn't get it in when I asked you to do, so I don't even have to look at your stupid application. That's what that language means. That's what the sufficient to require the trial court to take cognizance of your application. That just means, look, you didn't do the shit you were supposed to do when you were supposed to do it, so I don't even have to look at it. So this is very interesting. There's the one case, which one was it? It was the Stevenson. It was Steven. Yeah, Stevens. The Stevens, they're saying, okay, you can ask for this change of judge if you think there's bias or prejudice. You can ask for this as soon as 1 day before trial. But then Alan went to say, look, your trial's already started. You should have been a little more diligent and got this crap taken care of before the trial started. So we're into trial now. Now I don't even have to look at your stupid motion. That's what Alan says. And now, but keep in mind that Gingras is asking for a change of judge after the trial. After everything is finished. But that's what he's asking for. Okay, Alan is 72. The party is not permitted to wait until he sees which way the decision is going to go before deciding whether to stay with or try to eliminate the judge who is hearing the matter. Yeah, you can't baseball analogy. I say it's like you can't. Is well, you can. You know what I mean. I say it's just like those people that wait till like the bottom of the 7th inning to place their bet on a baseball game. It's like, well, I want to place my bet with like 5 minutes left in the 4th quarter of the football game. Ain't gonna happen. You're too late. You gotta do it before the outcome is like, it's halftime and team A is being blown out of the water by team B by a score of 64-0. I want to bet that it'd be a stupid bet, but I want to bet that team B, who's ahead by 64 points, is going to win the game. I mean, it would be a ridiculous bet, but this is what these sentences are trying to say. You can't wait to see how, the judge obviously thinks your case sucks and he's going to rule against you. So you can't just go, all right, I want a new judge. I want a new judge, one that won't make me sick. Sorry. Went full Huey Lewis there for a minute. That not permitted to wait until he sees which way the decision is going to go before deciding whether to stay with or to try to eliminate the judge who is hearing the matter. Nor is he permitted to wait until the judge has heard evidence on the merits, which will have to be resubmitted if another judge is substituted. Okay, so it says like even you can't even go that far. As soon as evidence is permitted, it's too late. Petitioner's reading of De Castillo v. Wells is not supported. My sister is texting me. I have to move it so I don't hear the vibrating on the desk. Is not supported. Procedural rules implementing this statute, like the other statute, did not create a separate and distinct remedy from the statute. It simply modified the procedures to be followed. Okay, so there's been a modification of procedures. De Castillo expressly rejects the notion that procedural rules implementing this other statute create separate and distinct remedies. Well, we already said that. Del Castillo, this citation. In fact, Rule 6.1 increases the burden by requiring the affiant to prove the sufficiency of the cause to believe bias by an objective standard. It can't be, I think I just personally have a belief. I believe from the bottom of my heart and with every fiber of my being that this judge is biased against me. I just know it. I can feel it in my heart. I can feel it. That's not good enough. You have to have, there's got to be an objective standard. There has to be objective bias. I.e., the affidavit itself must have substantive merit. It does not expand statutory rights to create new ones. The court must simply reject the notice as time-barred because it was filed after final trial and judgment under Rule 78. Now, see, that makes sense to me. That makes sense. He's like, okay, you want to change the judge because you think they might be biased in their ruling. But their ruling's already been made. So how do you change the judge now? By any logical stretch, that makes sense. Step back from the, because there might be some really weird, wacky interpretation of Arizona law that I'm not aware of, because me not being an Arizona lawyer and whatnot. But someone make it make sense how you would request. It's like, again, a car analogy. You go into an auto zone where Megan likes to, where Megan suggests we troll for men. You go into AutoZone. You say, hey, I need an oil change. All right, Skippy, go change the oil on the Subaru. Like, yeah, okay. Skippy goes out, changes the oil. Comes out. They do their little checklist. They give you your bill. And then you go, wait a minute, I don't want Skippy to change my oil. I want someone else to change my oil. How does that work? Shut up, Megan. Megan Fox makes me laugh. All right, so I hope we're all on the same page with that, because that makes sense. And if, for example, as we talked about at the beginning of the show, if David Gingras is willing to come on the show, this would be, for example, one thing I would ask him. Please explain to me how, after Skippy changes the oil in the car and gives you the bill, you want someone else to change the oil in your car. Explain how this works. These are the kind of things that I would be asking him. But anyway, wherefore, itchy ear. Wherefore, respondent requests the following. Here's what Woodnick wants. What Woodnick wants, Woodnick seems to get a lot of times in this case. Wherefore, respondent requests the following: an order rejecting the notice of change of judge. An order granting leave for respondent to file a supplemental affidavit of attorney's fees and costs. Lily Smith, that'd be good for you. Entering and an order entering any further orders necessary and appropriate, considering Rule 8.2a of the Arizona Rules of Professional Conduct. So, all right, reject the notice of change and grant leave for us to file a supplemental affidavit for costs. Make him pay for this motion. Make him pay for this that we had to do. Now, there is a response to the motion. Jingers has filed a response. The important thing to note here is this affidavit. This affidavit is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's 4 pages and 9 lines long. That might become important. So remember, it's 4 pages and 9 lines long. We don't actually even have to remove that. We can just switch it on over, can't we? Because it's a sharing window. So no, I lied. I do have to, because the other one is just a screenshot. This is the response to the response to the response. No, this is the response to the response to the motion. Share the screen. Where is it? Wait, oh, there it is. Yep. All right. So here is David Gingras's response to the response. Family, what are you doing? Hang on. All right. There we go. It's back. Share screen. Is that it? That's it. All right. There we go. ASMR. Oh, I was trying to make it bigger. That's what she said. Ms. Wallach. Family law. This is from David Gingras. as it says up there in the title, the response to the notice of change, Family Law Rule 6.1 D1 provides that responses opposing a change of judge may be no more than 2 pages, and no reply is permitted unless authorized by the presiding judge. So he's saying the response was too long. It was 4 pages and 9 lines. It shouldn't be more than 2 pages. It says it right there. Woodnick, he violated the rules, and he's not even supposed to submit a reply unless you authorize him to do it. Which, like it or not, rules be rules. Rules are rules. And a lot of judges, I've seen instances where, I mean, some judges will have set rules on the type of font. Back in my day, it was Courier. Everybody still liked it to look like a typewriter, even though you were typing away on a keyboard of some sort. They all wanted it in Courier, like 12-point Courier, so it looked like a typewriter. Back in my day, there were typewriters, but the judge will have it has to be 1.5 spaced or 2, or like a double spaced. And if you come in with the wrong font, judges will go, hey, they're rules. Try again, bucko. Oh, your spacing is off. I wanted 1.5 space. You did double space. Try again. So judges can be very, very tight on the rules. So they say, and if you need permission to submit the answer, get permission to submit the answer. So Woodnick argued rules. He filed too late. The rules say he can't file this late. And now Jingers is going, all right, Mr. Rules Boy, you violated 2 rules. It was more than 2 pages and you didn't get the approval to do it first. So, it's a good argument. Since Mr. Woodnick submitted a 4-page response without leave of court, we would respectfully ask Judge Fisk to permit the following 2 short points in reply. Now, that's kind of where I get why he's doing it. But it seems apparent that he may have done something that he shouldn't have done by replying to something that shouldn't have been filed in the first place. I don't know if he's required to get permission to respond to the response, but if he did need permission to respond to the response, he didn't get it. He's just like, let me just butt in here. So I think that he made a very, very good argument in sentence 1, and he may have harmed his argument in sentence 2. So, first, Mr. Woodnick does not dispute the actual basis of our request. He does not challenge or even mention our evidence showing that Judge Mata performed an independent investigation into the facts and that she included findings in her judgment which were copied from social media. Because Family Law Rule 6.1D3 requires grounds for disqualification to be proven by a preponderance of evidence, and because Mr. Woodnick does not dispute the grounds raised in our notice, Judge Fisk should find the grounds for disqualification are established. No. His argument was, I don't need, he specifically said that. He said, I don't even need to talk about those things because it's time barred. The deadline for filing is way past. I don't even need to talk about this because we don't even have to go there. You just have to look at the date this thing was filed and go, dismissed, denied, sit down. So it's not like he's like, all right. And see, this is kind of the thing. If the opponent makes an argument and you don't respond to that argument in the brief, it can be taken as accepted. Well, they didn't argue against it, so I guess that means they accept it. That's what he's doing here. He didn't argue against it. That must mean he accepted it. No, he said we don't have to go there. It's a risky strategy. If I was Woodnick, I would have mentioned it at least, like, we deny this, or we'd like to submit more information on this. I would have done that, but he just like, we don't even need to go there because of this rule. So a little bit, kind of. It's kind of, he's doing the funhouse mirror thing where you kind of distort things. It's not a lie. He's not wrong. It's like, oh, it's the mirror that makes me look thin. You go, oh, the mirror makes me look good. I think I'm going to run with it. I think I'll put one of these funhouse mirrors that make me look thin in my house. Second, the only argument Mr. Woodnick presents is that our notice is untimely. However, this argument is based on the wrong rule. Uh-oh. Apparently Woodnick screwed up and relied on the wrong rule. Mr. Woodnick is referring to the standards for a change of judge as a matter of right under Rule 6, not a change of judge for cause under Rule 6.1. Rule 6, allowing a change of judge as a right, is extremely clear that a party waives their right to a change of judge if the judge rules on any contested issues. Rule 6E2. Here, if we had invoked Rule 6, I would agree with Mr. Woodnick 100%. The request would be untimely because Judge Mata has already ruled on numerous contested issues. Well, Judge Mata has in fact ruled on the entire damn case. It goes not ruled on numerous contested issues. She's ruled on all the contested issues. But we have not invoked Rule 6. Rather, we have sought a change of judge for cause under a different rule. Rule 6.1. They're entirely different. Rule 6.1, the standards under Rule 6.1 are entirely different. Rule 6.1c merely requires that a notice be filed within 20 days of discovering the grounds for the notice. And the rule expressly states, case events or actions taken before that discovery do not waive a party's right to a change of judge for cause. Mr. Woodnick does not dispute that our notice was timely under Rule 6.1c, and he has not challenged the factual basis for that notice. Accordingly, Mr. Woodnick's objection is frivolous. It's frivolous, and our notice should be granted. Oh, there we go. What was that? Oh, this is an early potential background for the Laura Owens trial that's in the JPEG folder. This is Gingras Bank. We used to call him David Gingras from Gingras Bank. Anyway. Okay. Let's just say, as soon as I cough, let's just say, for the sake of argument, again, in arguendo, as we law talking people like to say, let's assume David Gingras is correct. I have no reason to believe that he is not correct, but let's say he is correct, and he has 20 days from noticing this event, the noticing the bias, to complain about it. I haven't done the math from the date of trial until the date he filed this motion. But let's assume it's within 20 days. Yeah, Gringotts. Sorry, I said Gingras, didn't I? See, it's so close. It's so close to Gringotts and Gingras, and we thought his name was Gingras at that point in time. Now we've come to know that it's Jingras. So let's suppose it was filed within the 20 days that he's saying. He's saying there's this 20, you have 20 days to file something about it. Let's say he's correct. You have 20 days. Let's say he's correct and he filed it within that 20 days. The oil has been changed in the car. Let's say they want to appoint a new judge based on his stellar 211-page motion. Okay, you have a new judge on a case that's over. All right. You didn't like Skippy changing the oil in your car. Well, now we got Doug. Doug over here is going to change the oil in your car. What do you want us to do? The oil's already been changed. Well, his argument would be, as some of you are pointing out, as Island says, it's not over for him. It's never over. And Leon G says he's saying Skippy put the wrong oil in. He's saying it's still under appeal. It's still under appeal. So Judge Mata is still on the case for a brief period of time, but I don't think it works. I don't, so what do you want? It's going to be appealed. Whatever. That's the stellar judge motion. We're waiting for the court to decide that. We're waiting for the judge, the presiding judge, to decide how I believe it was a she is going to rule. It is Judge Rhonda Fisk. Yes, we're waiting to see how she's going to rule on this notice to change the judge for cause. All right. Let's see. Well, we've got a couple of, and by couple, I mean one. We got one super chat to read. Come on, people. It's Friday. Let's party. Let's party. It's Friday, people. One super chat here to read from Tammy Fayette. Tammy Fayette of the ASMR requests. Hi, Tammy Fayette. Good evening to you, Tammy Fayette. Tammy Fayette says, hi, Jeff. How are you? Good to see you. Hey, chat. Is YouTube coma a thing? I think I live here. Anyone else? Lol. Thank you, Tammy Fayette, for the $5 super chat. Deeply appreciated. That will get me some caffeine later today. Thank you for the caffeine money. All right, that seems to be all we got there. Cough, cough. Let's check in on our like and subscribe poll. We're roughly an hour into this. 81% of you say I should have him on. I should try to have him on as a guest and interview him. Again, if I do, this is a good time for this. There's more here. There's like over twice as many people here now as there was earlier. So if I were to ask him, and if he were to accept an invitation to be a guest on the show, it would be a legitimate, respectable interview. It wouldn't just be me, just dogpiling and shitting on him. I really, really do want to know how he became involved in the case, why he became involved in the case, why he chose violence from day one, why he didn't try to endear himself, because we were talking about with Danny and Megan the other day, and then Danny, Megan, and Dave. He just chose violence from day one. We didn't hate Corey. We felt bad for Corey. Corey got himself into a situation that he didn't sign up for. He signed up for it, but he didn't quite realize everything, I guess. And we felt bad for Corey from day one. It's like, oh, you sweet summer child, look what you've gotten yourself into now. But Dave came out swinging. He was all about the violence from day one and didn't even try to endear himself to people. So why did he choose that strategy? And I'm just things like that. It's like, well, okay, you said that if there was a lie, you would resign, but you didn't. And you may say there's been no lies, but a few times he's mentioned that his own client has credibility issues. So why did you backtrack? Did you backtrack? Why? Things like it would be a good interview, but it wouldn't just be a hit piece. I don't want to invite someone into my house and then just bitch slap them around, because then I would be doing the same thing. So it would be a legitimate interview, but that's some of the things that I would ask. I want to get into his head. I want to see what's rolling around in there. why, how did he become who he is? What's his different personas? Is he different in the office and different at home and different in public, or is all three just the way is he the same way in all three places? Things like that. I just want to know. So that's what it would be. And we've been asking here in chat whether we should or not. 81% of you say yes, and only 18% say no. But if I do have him on, I don't want like 1,000 people to go, "Oh my God, he's talking to the enemy. I gotta leave. I'm gonna unsubscribe." I don't want that. Give the guy a fair shake. That's been his complaint from day one, is nobody listens to my story. Well, here's someone that wants to listen to your side of the story. He said it the other day. He said it virtually on day one. Clayton Echard's out there telling his side of the story, and he's on all the shows, and nobody's talking to us. Well, I'm talking to you. Tell your story. That's what I want to hear. I want to know what love is. Yeah, exactly. Tucker interviewed Putin. Right. Exactly, Flux. But boy, did Putin school him. That was the sad part of that. Jeff doing Camelot voice. Okay, that was funny. That was actually funny. Doing Camelot voice. All right. So if I do have him on, and if I invite him on, and if he does come on, Chad, it's going to be upon all of you to seriously be on good behavior. Ask questions, but don't be the person that he thinks you are. That's what I always say. If you have an enemy, if somebody thinks you're some way, don't be the person they think you are. If they think you're all a bunch of stark raving, rabid cultists, don't act like a rabid mouth breathing cultist when the person is here. Can you do the interview in a Muppet voice? That would help. So yeah, it's like, oh, this guy's an asshole. He does this, that, and the other. And then you go, well, let's talk to him. And then that person is an asshole and does this, that, and the other. You go, yeah, okay, that just confirms everything I know. I would want to show him that you guys are way better than he thinks you are. I would want to show him that you are way more reasonable, rational, kind, and likable than perhaps the people on his side of the equation. So it would be rough, but let's see. Well, I'm going to roll this around in my noggin for another day or two. Jeff, this is chat. Be realistic. It's going to be 80% innuendo jokes. No, not the Italian suppository type. I see, like, innuendo and jokes are fine, but I say just, anyway. So no calling him tramp stamp. See, that's kind of where I would draw the line. I would say, yeah, okay, send me breadstick money, but leave tramp stamp out. Make fun of the breadstick stuff. The silly stuff. Anyway. All right, let's get back to what we're doing here. Thank you, Chloe Albert's Revenge, by the way. So no calling him tramp stamp. Yeah. And let's see. Oh, we got Cat in Virginia with the super sticker of a cat. Thank you, Cat in Virginia. That is so awesome of you. Island, my mom and I are in a no spending challenge. It's really hampering my style. Pretty please send super chats to Jeff so I can super chat vicariously. Thanks. Oh, sure. Megan, Pond Scum Posse. Of course, that's on the menu. These are things that came out of his own mouth. We're Pond Scum. So of course, Pond Scum Posse. Like the things he said, of course, that's fair game. But the stuff that you all, not me, because I would never do this. the things that you all say behind the scenes, it's different. So thank you very much, Island, reminding people to super chat. Super chats are always nice. But it's next Friday night at this same time next week will be the F Friday stream, where we're going to have a big panel of guests on, and that will just be an unmitigated griftathon, where, because I'm a degenerate, it will be grifting for booze. Every $100, as always, gets a shot of whiskey, and we just see how long. We go till the money dries up or my liver fails. Liver failed last month. I had to tap out. I was 3 drinks behind. But I do have a breathalyzer. So I forgot to do the breathalyzer because I was too drunk to do the breathalyzer last time. But anyway, that'll be next Friday. So we're gonna start arranging our panel here in the next few days. We'll keep you posted on that. But if you do still want to send super chats today, please, by all means, I would never stop you from doing that. And we also have Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, Zelle. It's all down there in the links. Diana 71, happy Friday to you too, Diana. Glad to have you here. Thank you so much for the super chat. And Cat Lady's back, aka the Cat Lady, member for 5 months. We got a lot of cat ladies here in chat. Cat ladies rule. Aka the Cat Lady, member for 5 months, says free speech attorney who doesn't want free speech. Well, you can't fault him for that. That's how lawyers are. We want something until we're on the other side of it. But yeah. Brianne Wilson, I would love to see that interview. Me too. But I just don't want, like I said, I don't want 1,000 people to go, we're unsubscribing because he's talking to someone I disagree with. But I think you're better than that. I think you're better than that. I hope you're better than that, because I'm and again, this just assumes he even wants to talk to me, a side member of the Pawn Scum posse. I never do direct fire. But let's see. Chloe Albert's revenge. What's up with Chloe Albert's revenge? So no calling him tramp stamp. Yeah, we went over that before. Thanks. Yeah. Name calling. But we can make fun of the names he's called everybody else. That's always fun when you lean into it and you make breadstick money, cockroaches, Pawn Scum. When you make that funny, it takes all of the sting away from it, and it takes all the power that those words were supposed to have against you. It makes it fun. Equality, what's up? What's up, Equality? Island's my internet, sis. So here's our super chat. Oh, well, thank you very much for sending the super chat for both of you peeps. Equality, you're awesome. And Adam Wathen has become a new member. Thank you so much for joining the Clean and Sober crew. You are the newest member. And of course, we all know that everybody wants to be my member. Right. Okay. That's our midstream grift. We got that out of the way. Let's get right back into this. The 327 people here, 341 likes. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Let's push ourselves. We're pushing towards 78,000 subscribers. Where are we? Where are we on that? We're at 77,630. We are 70. There's 322 of you here. Are there at least 70 of you that haven't subscribed? Are there 20 of you that haven't subscribed? If you haven't, let's push those numbers up, because we are only 70 away from 77,700. Oh, Sonny or Chris coming out of the woodwork right at the last minute before we jump right back into this, dropping the 5 Legal Vices gifted memberships. You are awesome. You get another bell and another bell. Why is my bell button not working? There we go. I'm pushing it too quickly. That's the problem. There we go. Now it's functioning properly, and we'll even give you an air horn. How's that? Air horn for you. And Marilyn Lee's, Leos, you get a bell too, just because I'm in a good mood. I'm in a bell ringing mood. Thanks for making my Friday night. Well, thank you very, very much for being here and making my Korean Saturday morning. It's one of those days where today is the first time I saw sun. I saw sunlight out my window. It's clouded up again, but for about an hour this morning, I had actual real burning ball of fire in the sky. It's the monsoon season. I have, quite literally not joking when I say I have not seen the sun for 1 month. It's been almost 1 month to the day since I saw the sun in the sky. It's been raining and cloudy for a month. And I saw a little bit of sunshine there this morning. I was like, oh my God, it's sunny. And then it got cloudy again. It's supposed to rain until tomorrow. And after tomorrow, just the nasty summer humid heat is supposed to set in. But thank you so much for making my Saturday morning. It's better than the sun. Very own fireball of cancer. Pretty much, yeah. Rosalind Duke, you're going to go to sleep. Thank you so much for being here, Roz. You rock. Have a good sleep. I'll try not to yell so we don't keep you awake. Oh, how close are we to Doggo Camp? Miles away from Doggo Camp. But no, well, not really miles because we got the member. Let me do lawyer math here. 30. Well, we're actually not that far. We're about 40 away. Huh, cool. 30. We're 30 away. All right. Yeah, we're 32 away. It's all right. Huh. We're closer than I thought, which is good because we have a dog right here. All right, let's get into this memorandum. We got stuff to do. My couple of minute midstream grifty thing went like 15 minutes. So let's see. Now we're getting into the motion to set aside. This is another lengthy one. This is just long. Motion. 30 pages. And so this isn't like 5 pages plus 25 pages of attachment. This is a legit 30-page motion. But thankfully we're going to be able to skip a lot of it. We'll see how it goes. We'll call Magic, the man with the magic cat. Drop me a link for next F at Friday. Okie dokie. We'll see it. You might have to remind me once we get a little far into it. Rational thought kind of leaves the building at times. All right, let's see. We need to embiggen this here. How much can we embiggen this? Can we embiggen it one more? No, we cannot embiggen it one more time. Oh, we can't even embiggen it this much, can we? Go back one. All right. Let's get right back into the story, shall we, people? And thank you, everybody, here for chatting and for being here with me. 332 peeps. Let's jump back in. The motion to vacate judgment, motion for a new trial, alternatively, motion to alter/amend judgment, and the motion for leave to exceed page limits. Again, as we learned, there are page limits in things you can do, and apparently there's a page limit on this one. So that's the first thing. He's making the motion for leave to exceed page limits. I'm pretty sure the limit is somewhat under 32 pages. This is a motion to vacate the judgment, to throw the judgment out, to toss it into the dumpster along with dumpster Jesus. He wants this judgment to end up in the dumpster right next to our Lord and Savior from the Maya tribe. There's like a judicial dumpster where all of the judicial stuff gets thrown out. This motion, this judgment, he wants that there right next to the Maya Kowalski dumpster Jesus. He wants a new trial. He wants it thrown out. He wants the old one thrown out, and he wants a new one. But if you don't want to give him the new one, alternatively, Linda Lou says, what? Yeah. It's a thing. It's a channel inside joke. It's from the Maya Kowalski case. The hospital was so horrific to this poor little girl that was in the hospital that they were abusing her. They were torturing this poor kid. They were trying to force her to do things to prove that she was faking it. And amongst one of those things, they took the Eucharist. They took the body of our Lord and Savior, and they threw it in the dumpster. They took a Eucharist that I believe was already blessed. They took the Eucharist and threw it in the dumpster. They wouldn't let her take communion. So yes, dumpster Jesus became a thing on Megan Fox's channel. So it's played on over to here. So yeah, we're just talking about that big judicial dumpster where all of the things get thrown away. Yes, Megan down here is helping us. A sweet baby dumpster, Jesus, it was consecrated. Great. Yes, the body of our Lord in the trash. That's what the hospital did. So that's the explanation there. That's a quick background for any of you that was like wondering, what the hell, which is probably where the hospital staff needs to end up eventually anyway. So, all right, that's a different case. Let's look at this here. Motion to vacate, motion to do. So if he wants it thrown out, he wants a new trial, or if he can't get that, if he's not going to get the old one thrown out and get a new trial, then they want to alter and amend the judgment. They wanted to change the judgment. So pursuant to rules 83 and 85 of the rules of family law procedure, petitioner Laura Owens, Laura and her petitioner moves for an order vacating the judgment entered in this matter on June 17th, 2024. In addition, Laura seeks a new trial pursuant to Rule 83B, as well as really stated here in. All right, we got the magic words out of the way there. Those are the magic words. Introduction. We can skip through a lot of this. The matter currently remains assigned to the Honorable Julie A. Mata. If the matter is reassigned, the present motion will be decided by a new judge who is familiar with the extremely complicated procedural and factual history of this case. It's really not that complicated. Hey, remember at the beginning of this? Remember at the beginning of this when we were told this is not a complicated case? This is a very easy case. She got pregnant with his twins. This is a very simple case. Now it's an extremely complicated case that an average ordinary judge, probably especially one of you women judges, can't figure out. It's now an extremely complicated case. Well. At the same time, while this matter is temporarily on hold due to notice of change of judge, the 25-day time limit to bring a motion under Rule 83C1 continues to run. That deadline, which expires on July 13th, making the last day July 15th, also necessarily controls Laura's time to appeal. And again, if you look, this is one of my favorite things. If you notice, we have different colors here. We have this little gray bit. That is the copy and paste part of his motion. He's copied and pasted necessarily controls Laura's time limit to appeal, and it may not be extended by stipulation or court order. Accordingly, although she would prefer not to do so until the issue of disqualification is resolved, Laura has no choice but to bring the instant motion. Factual history. Don't need to go into this lengthy factual history unless there's something to the medical devices, home use test pregnancy. You produce this hormone only when you're pregnant. HCG is only produced when you're pregnant. Woodnick files pleadings. Laura gets counsel, and everything happens. All the stuff, all the bad stuff. Based on those findings, Judge Mata referred this matter to Maricopa County's attorney's office. That's the post-trial stuff. Yeah. June 17th, 2024, Judge Mata issued an order finding in favor of Clayton as to substantially all issues in this case and awarding attorney's fees in the amount to be determined by later application. The post-trial order also purported to find Laura lied about being pregnant in this case. So let it be written, so let it be done. The judge has spoken. The judge, it's now a fact. It's a judicial fact. It's a judicially recognized fact that she did lie. Now that fact may become an unfact on appeal, but for the time being, that's a fact. As well as two other matters, and that she may have committed perjury in this case or elsewhere. The order is not entirely clear. He's backhanding the judge again. The order is not entirely clear. She didn't write a clear judgment. She ain't smart like me. So there again, a completely unnecessary sort of backhand at the judge. Based on those findings, Judge Mata referred this matter to the Maricopa County Attorney's Office. Comfortable there, Straubs? Strawberry's just in her new bed, snoring up a storm. All righty then. Let's see. Structural error discussion. There's errors in the structure. Uh-oh. That sounds serious, doesn't it? Uh-oh. As explained in detail in the notice of change of judge filed in this matter, let me explain in detail again. Clear and convincing evidence shows Judge Mata violated Laura's due process rights and the Code of Judicial Conduct, again saying she's an unethical judge. Judge violated the rules of conduct by conducting a secret, undisclosed investigation into this matter, unsupported by any evidence whatsoever. Worse, Judge Mata not only reviewed social media posts about this case, she literally made at least one key factual finding or more. At least one or more. What the f does that even mean? At least one means one or more. That's exactly what that's what the word at least, the two words, that's what the phrase at least means. It means one or more. At least one means one or more. So one or more. What Jingras, come on. Writing. Focus on your writing, not your hyperbole. So she literally made at least one key factual she made at least one or more key factual findings or more based on the posts and did not on the evidence admitted at trial. She literally made at least one key factual finding based on those posts and not on the evidence admitted at trial. There, now made sense the second time through. The consequences of this are both simple and clear. Laura is entitled to an order vacating judgment in its entirety. The whole damn thing got to be thrown out. The whole in its entirety, and she is entitled to a new trial before a different judge pursuant to Family Law Rule 6.1. I thought it was 6.1C, not 6.1. Provides in relevant part grounds for altering or amending a judgment. The court did not properly consider or weigh all of the admitted evidence. I don't think that happened. Any irregularity in the proceedings or abuse of discretion depriving the party of a fair trial. Oop, it's underlined. This might be the one he's going with. This might be what he's going with. Any irregularity in the proceedings or abuse of discretion depriving a party of a fair trial. And C, misconduct of the other party. It's underlined. That must mean he's accusing Woodnick of misconduct, accident or surprise, newly discovered evidence, error in the admission or rejection of evidence, or other errors of law at the trial or during the action. Okay, he's going to be telling that she's full of errors of law, mistakenly overlooked or misapplied contested facts, or the decision, finding of fact, or judgment is not supported by the evidence or is contrary to law. Oh, so he's saying the judgment isn't supported by evidence? He's going to say that the judgment is against the law? Oh, I can't wait to read that. That should be fun. Huh. All right. Let's go, Jingers. Again, we got some more copy and paste quotes down here. I don't know if you can see the difference in color there, but there's a slight difference in color. Again, I don't know why I like pointing this out so much. There's some copy and paste marks. It's the gray. All right. Anyway, I literally have no idea. What grounds do exist to do so? Rule 83B provides the court may vacate the judgment if one has been entered, take additional testimony, amend findings of fact and conclusions of law, or make new ones and direct the entry of a new judgment. All right. Fine, but did you do enough for that? Oh, holy shit, this whole thing from here to here is copy and pasted. These two paragraphs. Her multiple grounds exist for relief. Here, multiple grounds exist for relief under Rule 83. However, because the improper conduct of the trial judge deprived Laura of her most basic right to fundamental fairness. Did it really, though? Did the trial judge deprive her of her most basic right to fundamental fairness? It is not necessary to consider any issues but one: the independent investigation into the facts undertaken by the judge. That single event, standing alone, invalidates the judgment in its entirety, without regard to the other, lesser, but still significant errors of both fact and law committed by Judge Mata. As such, that issue will be discussed first. Assuming the court agrees and orders a new trial, it is unnecessary to consider or resolve any other issues at this time. Those other issues will still be briefly addressed solely to preserve the appellate record. That's what we were talking about earlier. That's what he was saying about Woodnick. Well, he didn't dispute any of these things. He just focused on the time bar. He didn't talk about any of these, so we have to accept these as accepted fact because he didn't contest them. Here he's going, oh, I don't want to talk about I don't need to talk about the other things. I don't want to talk about the other things, but I have to just to preserve the appellate record, just so it's not to assume that I'm accepting the opponent's arguments in this. Judge Mata's undisclosed independent investigation into the facts was a structural error requiring automatic reversal of the judgment and a new trial before a new judge. Before addressing the other issues pursuant to Family Law Rules 83A1B and 85B6, Laura moves for an order that the judgment be vacated in its entirety and a new trial ordered before a different judge on the basis of misconduct committed by the trial judge, specifically as explained below and in the notice of change of judge for cause filed concurrently herewith, which is incorporated by reference herein. Good, more lawyerly magic words. There is clear and convincing evidence providing Judge Mata violated inter alia, lawyer speak for among other things, Rule 2.9C of the Arizona Code of Judicial Conduct, which provides, except as otherwise provided by law, a judge shall not investigate facts in a matter independently and shall consider only the evidence presented and any facts that may be properly judicially noticed. So your judge isn't supposed to investigate facts independently. You can only consider what's been put into evidence, but he's left out this may properly be judicially noticed. Judicial notice might be something we have to talk about later. Canonical Heat bringing the 20 for potato pig dog snacks or booze. Either works. Now that'll be for potato pig dog snacks. That moves us within 15 of the Doggo Cam. We are under 15 away from Doggo Cam. How cool is that? Thanks, peeps. Here, irrefutable evidence demonstrates Judge Mata violated Rule 2.9C by conducting her own internet research. Why is that in quotes? Why is internet research in quotes? There actually is a thing called internet research. You don't need to put it in air quotes. If she did internet research, you don't need to put it in quotes. I don't get it. Why is that in quotes? Stupid. I don't know what's going on. She conducted her own internet research, if you want to call it that, into the facts of this case. She did so by reviewing information posted online regarding this case, and even worse, prove she did that. What do you mean? Prove that she reviewed information posted online about this case. Where is your fucking evidence? Sorry, I've cursed. I didn't mean to curse. Where is your intercoursing evidence? You can't just throw out she reviewed information posted online regarding this case without showing your evidence. And even worse, she adopted one or more statements of fact into the judgment, which were not based on the evidence at trial, but rather were based solely on statements published on the internet by Clayton's supporters. That's some pretty dangerous words there, especially ones that might not be so easy to back up. But before we read further, we need to do some things. We need to do some things here. Excuse me for a second while I lean over. There we go. All right. It is now properly positioned, and we can do the thing. We can do the thing because Sonny or Chris has gifted one Legal Vices membership. if you got that membership. And who got that? Ian Thomas. Ian Thomas was gifted the membership by Sonny or Chris. Cool. There you go. And IC said thank you. And Canonical Heat dropping another 20. That, well, dang it. That is very, very generous of you. You are hereby anointed the vice racks of the day. Canonical Heat, dog cam. Well, it is that time now because you have put us there. It is that time that we like to call Release the Hounds. And there is sleeping Strawberry. Yoda is under the desk over here, under the table behind me, just blasted out on the floor. But we rarely get Strawberry sitting quietly and not moving. So that's all we ever get with Yoda is Yoda sitting quietly and not moving. We get it rarely with Strawberry. So we'll keep Strawberry here. We'll let her sleep, basking in the warmth of the sun. All right. Thank you very, 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 very much for that, Canonical Heat. You are an absolute wonderful human being. Now, let's jump back into the chat. You guys, seriously, chat, you guys are freaking awesome. I love you guys to death. Let's see. Where did we go? Here we are. Seriously, I mean that. You guys parting with your hard-earned money, whether it's a 99-cent super sticker or whether it's a $500 super chat, it's also I don't take any of it for granted, and it's all so much appreciated. And even if you're just here, not super chatting, not doing that, if you're just here in chat, hanging out with each other, you could be doing anything, anywhere else on the entire planet right now. You could literally be doing anything else in the known universe, but you're choosing to be here, and I am gratefully moved by that every damn day. Well, let's get back to why Judge Mata should be shamed and should overturn. She should change. She should throw out the ruling because she apparently did some internet stuff, internet searching here. Well, few legal rules, the legal standard. Few legal rules, if any, are clearer than this. Quote, both federal and state constitutions guarantee that no person shall be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process, unless it's a seizure, unless it's a property seizure by the courts. But we're not getting into that. That's it. And of course, the touchstone of due process under both Arizona and federal constitutions is fundamental fairness. Chat, what is wrong with you? Sorry, I got sidelined by chat there for a second. All right, another case. Ergo, a party's right to a fundamentally fair trial is critically important because it preserves both the appearance and reality of fairness, generating the feeling so important to a popular government that justice has been done. Well, the fundamental fairness in the context of due process has many different facets, but the key one is this. All litigants in all courts are entitled to have their cases heard and decided by a judge who is fair, neutral, unbiased, and impartial. Although the right to a trial before an impartial judge is not specifically enumerated in the Constitution, this principle has long been recognized by the United States Supreme Court, State v. Dorsey, correct, noting to maintain public trust and confidence in the judiciary, judges should avoid the appearance of impropriety. Do I smell burnt toast? I smell burnt toast. Is that a problem? Damn, I'm like stroking out over here. Let me try this sentence again. I didn't cook toast this morning. Wow. All right. Sorry about that inability to put together a sentence. Although the right to a trial before an impartial judge is not specifically enumerated in the Constitution, this principle has long been recognized by the United States Supreme Court. In Dorsey, noting to maintain public trust and confidence in the judiciary, judges should avoid the appearance of impropriety and should act to assure the parties that have no reason to think their case is not being judged fairly. Whew, got through it. Damn. Chat, we have an impromptu poll here. We have an impromptu poll. It's just a temporary poll. We've got 324 people here concurrently. So 324 of you might want to vote on this. And I'm not saying it can even happen, but let's see what the mob wants. What does the mob want? Are you not entertained? A 1 in chat if we should invite Megan Fox onto the show. 2, if you're like, oh dear God, you're having enough problems getting through this on your own, don't invite her. Which do we do? 1, to invite her. 2, to just throw this damn thing right to the wind and just go through it myself with a 2. We've got a 2 where there's a hangman for it. Megan, the people have spoken. Megan, the people have spoken. Protestant 8 has spoken 5 times in one answer. I can't bring her on. I'm like, I can't be like, Megan, I can't bring her on. Megan, you must come on my show.
The power of Christ compels you.
I can invite her on. I can't bring her here. Megan, what do you think? I'm feeling it. I don't know why. Oh wait, what's this? Hang on. All right. Sonny or Chris with the $2. The answer is 2, but 1 is far more entertaining. Exactly. Megan says, lol, fine. I'm sitting here listening. That's why we're doing this. Yeah, see, you know what I mean? All right. That is a way. Right. There we have it. The invite has been sent. The Exorcist clip is too relevant. Demons about. All right. Well, let's get as much of this in as we can. Oh, that didn't take very long. It's like, I'm not waiting to click join. I'm not like,
I was literally just sitting here with you up on the screen listening while I was, what was I doing? I don't know, Twitter.
You were sitting here with your mouse like, I hope he invites me. I hope he invites me. I click, there it comes. Jesus. And also,
no, I can't actually stay long. I just wanted to say hello because this will be my 4th live stream today.
Yeah, I know. I didn't get the invite to the one you did with everybody last night, so I felt left out.
Which one last night? Yes, you did.
No,
it was in the group chat. Yes, it was.
Oh, well, I'm sorry. I require a separate gold engraved.
Oh, you have to have a separate. You have to have a separate invitation. Oh, I see how it is. I see. You're gonna Barbara Streisand it. You're gonna diva it up.
But I literally have no grounds to stand on because I'd mentioned to IT goatee Brad that I would invite him on today, and I completely forgot about it until I looked over and I went, no. we need to have a. You're like, we can sync up later, dumbass. I'm like, oh yeah, all right. Let's invite everybody on. So he's here. Hi.
I resemble that remark. I did not put dumbass.
All right. Well, now as long as we're going off the rails. Hi guys.
Hello.
We're in the middle of this 36 page.
I still haven't got through this one, so I'm interested. That's why I was listening. I'm like, well, other than I also have an addiction to you, Jeff, and Muppet voice, but I was listening to this, and my God, words. Could we have less words, David? I need less words.
It does not take 32 pages to say what he's needing to say here.
It's even funnier when he posts on Twitter and said, sometimes less is more. And he goes, yes, I agree. It's just these things are very complicated and they need to be explained.
Yep.
Over
but
and over
still.
and over again.
That's why they have page limits in the rules. Like the judge are like, look, there's no way on earth you could possibly need more than this number of pages to say what you need to say. That's the theory behind it anyway.
Beating that dead horse ad nauseum.
Ad nauseum. Yep.
Let's get through some of these super chats here before it becomes untimely and Jingers has to make a motion to dismiss.
Motion to dismiss reading this.
Tammy Fayette with a $3 super sticker. Big thumbs up to you too, Tammy Fayette, or should I say Tammy Fayette. Marina L's gifted 1 Legal Vices membership. Who got that Legal Vices membership? And you better have said thank you. It was Janet Burris gets it. Janet Burris got the membership there. Canonical Heat dropped the doggo cam. Where are we at here? In the 1 membership. And what's up, Amu? I'm gonna give us a 99-cent super sticker of just a dollar sign, like a smiley face with dollar signs for eyes. That's me. That's what I'm all about. The dollar bills, y'all. Diana 71. There is sunlight at the door. I'm used to dark. Exactly. I'd say just the first little ray of sun in a month was enjoyable. Chloe Albert's revenge. Megan was talking about being stalked by a demon earlier.
It's true.
Yep.
It's true.
What's his name?
I think, well, whoever it is a chain smoker who might be remote viewing into my bedroom. I don't know. But it was bizarre. I had a sleep paralysis incident.
Oh, I thought it was like some idiot in chat or something. This is like a real thing.
No,
Okay, cool.
sleep paralysis with I've never had this type of sleep paralysis before. Normally you feel like something is on top of you, and you can't move. So I've had that before. This was so weird. I did not think I was sleeping. I'm going
to tell you, Megan, I'm going to do this. I'm hosting the Unexplained with Flux and Danny next.
Oh, you want me to save it for that?
Save your story.
We
will have you on as the guest.
Yeah, we'll do it. It was very weird. And I'm going to go and bless my room tonight before I go to bed because it was bizarre.
Don't forget your prayer book.
Yeah, I have it right here. It's right here.
We'll have you on as the guest. And Amma with the $2 is $2 bills, y'all. Bring them back. I have a $2 bill I keep on my desk in my office just because they're cool. But thank you for that. Thank you guys for joining. We need to see if we can somehow get through some of this somehow. I don't know why I thought I would do it with you two on here, but
I don't know why either. But I'm waiting to get through
my dramatic reading of this, and it went on for an hour and a half.
Oh God!
Because I think people are just tired of hearing me have story time for 2 hours. I think it's time to interject new voices into the equation.
Well, it's exhausting to read this man's work. And the weird part is, Jeff, today, I think it was in this motion, we found this other case that he referenced. No, it was on his Twitter feed. This other case that he said he worked on when he sued the Maricopa County attorney, whatever. What an interesting case. So much better. Oh my God. Like I can't wait to read that one. It's amazing. It's so much better. It was, for one, a great First Amendment case. He actually had a client who had real grounds to sue. And it was a great case. And it went to the Ninth Circuit, who completely destroyed the county. It was so fun to watch that video clip. It was amazing. So why does he do this when he could do that? I
see. That's why I want to have him on and go, why? What's with the night and day stuff? I'm too damn curious. But Tammy Fayez says, I love Jeff's story time. Motion for Muppet ASMR.
Oh my.
I don't even know if you can do that, because like most Muppety sort of voices require volume. You may have noticed that Muppets aren't generally quiet. Muppets are usually loud and shouty.
Very loud and shouty.
I don't know. Can we do the Muppet Tammy Fayette ASMR? It doesn't worry.
Waka,
you can't
waka.
get the rasp. Yeah, you can't get the rasp. Anyway, fundamental fairness is what we're talking about here, apparently. We got State v. Dorsey. Impartiality is the very foundation of the American judicial system. The denial of due process is a denial of fundamental fairness. Shock into the universal sense of justice. That's where we are on all this.
He filed this before Woodnick filed his response to the notice of change of judge. So I was going to say that he may have been upset that Woodnick cited 1915 Arizona law in this, but
which is based on 1887 territorial codes. Yeah. Megan,
Yes.
let's see if we need to read this paragraph here, starting up with 27.
All right. Although Arizona case law on this exact issue is sparse, because instances of judicial misconduct in the state are thankfully rare, the United States Supreme Court has repeatedly agreed the due process clause requires trial judges to be fair and unbiased, and that requirement is not illusory. The deprivation of a fair and unbiased judge is a structural error requiring automatic reversal of the judgment. See Nader v. United States, discussing difference between harmless error and structural errors, and explaining, we have found an error to be structural and thus subject to automatic reversal only in a very limited class of cases, such defects as the complete deprivation. I like how he leaves out so much. There's no context. It's just snippets of things. Such defects as the complete deprivation of counsel. Well, yeah, that's a big deal. The deprivation of counsel, huge deal. Structural error, for sure. Or trial before a biased judge. Well, yeah, but you'd have to prove that she's biased. Emphasis added.
Well, it's underlined, so
up.
she's
Look at this. Cleaned up.
I
Cleaned
don't know
up.
what he cleaned up, but
What did he clean up, though?
I'm guessing it's what that ellipsis in the middle is.
Yes, cleaned up for, his own purposes.
Yeah.
Biased trial judge constitutes structural error, as it must.
Well,
Arizona Supreme Court embraces the same standard. In cases involving trial error, we consider whether the error so assessed was harmless beyond a reasonable doubt. If so, we uphold the verdict entered. In a limited number of cases, however, structural error occurs. In such instances, we automatically reverse the guilty verdict entered, unlike trial errors.
you can't just keep saying the word structural errors and make them appear. It's not like frickin' Beetlejuice, It's not.
Structural errors deprive defendants.
Oh, you said it 3 times.
protection.
Structural errors happen.
It is.
Thanks,
It's
Megan.
gonna.
Thank you, Megan.
Ta-da.
Said it 3 times. It's like Candyman,
Unlike trial errors, structural errors deprive defendants of basic protections without which a trial cannot reliably serve its function as a vehicle for determination of guilt or innocence and no punishment what may be regarded as fundamentally fair.
See, if you put 3 ellipses in one sentence, it sort of makes you wonder what was cut out.
Oh yeah, and every time
I'm
he
just
does
pulling
this,
that up now.
I have read through when he's done this before, and he always leaves out things that are relevant. Let's just put it that way. And you're like, oh,
You're not
that's
supposed
what
to
it
do
means.
that. You're not supposed to do that.
That's why on my bingo card for reading this, I have misleading the court because it's all over his filings.
Nice. Well, Brad, we have a presumption to make here.
Presumably, due to the high ethical standards of most Arizona jurists, compared instances of a judge conducting an undisclosed investigation into the facts of a case and then adopting findings based on that investigation, as occurred here, are essentially non-existent. However, courts in other states applying the same legal standards are in unanimous agreement. It is structural error, requiring automatic reversal, when a trial judge conducts an independent investigation into the facts of a case. This is so because the bedrock of due process requirement of fairness requires that conclusions reached by the trier of fact be based upon the facts in evidence and prohibits the trier of fact from reaching conclusions based on evidence sought or obtained beyond that adduced in court.
Did we ever find out if the place being closed on Sunday was ever in one of the motions?
We did not. I couldn't
Of the
find
public
it.
documents, we haven't found anything, but there's like 40 or 50 pages missing from Dr. Dean's report that wasn't submitted. So it's possible that it's hiding in there.
Well, thus, if a judicial, especially in a bench trial, undertakes a personal investigation into the facts of a dispute and makes findings based on her pushing the space button, there we go, or makes findings based on her own independent research or knowledge rather than based on evidence admitted at trial, this conduct is per se violation of the due process clause, which constitutes structural, not harmless error. First, the judge sitting These dogs, are you okay? First, the judge, sitting as the finder of fact, indicated by her comments during Worthy's testimony. This is quoting a different case, not this case, peeps. During Worthy's testimony, that she believed, based on facts not in evidence, that Worthy's statements about the date of Page's death were likely false. These comments disregarded the judge's duty as the finder of fact to make factual determinations solely on the basis of evidence in the record. Huh? All right. This is the only important part of that sentence, solely on the basis of evidence in the record. This part doesn't make any sense. Second, the judge, it makes sense, but not in any relation to this case. Second, the judge independently investigated a fact not introduced into evidence. Excuse me. Okay, that part seems to be relevant to his arguments. Violating her obligation as the finder of fact to refrain from seeking or obtaining evidence outside that presented by the parties during the trial. This other case here stated unquestionably it would be impermissible for a trial judge to deliberately set about gathering facts outside the record of a bench trial over which he was to preside. Okay. So
I'm so bored.
proof she did it. Let's see, there's a conviction ordering a new trial, some more support, ordering a new trial where a judge in a bench trial considered facts not admitted into evidence. All right, here we go. The law on this point.
The law on this point could not be any clearer. Oh, I bet it could. Judges are absolutely forbidden, both as a matter of due process and judicial
Ambada, the
ethics,
forbidden court case.
to conduct independent investigations into the facts of the case. How many times can he say this? How many? Does he think that saying it more times makes it more true? And they are absolutely forbidden from making factual determinations based on the results of those investigations. Findings of fact may only be based on evidence admitted at trial or matters which may properly be judicially noticed. See my citation here. A judge shall not investigate facts in a matter independently and shall consider only the evidence presented and any facts that may properly be judicially noticed. And comment 6, the prohibition against a judge independently investigating the facts in a matter extends to information available in all mediums, including electronic. See also American Bar Association's formal opinion 478, independent factual
I think that's
research.
actually a thing. I think he's correct. It should be the American Bar Assin. Should be the American Bar Assin.
That must
They're
be
a
that
bunch of
circle jerk
assins.
that Dave's always talking about. Explaining that a judge may not use an internet search to determine hours of operation, nor are business hours properly subject to judicial notice. I think that's debatable. This internet search violates Rule 2.9c of the Model Code of Judicial Conduct because the restaurant's hours of operation are key to whether the plaintiff could prevail. In this matter, it wasn't key. The hours weren't key to whether she could, if it had been open, would not have changed this ruling in any way because Planned Parenthood already said it's not our sonogram.
Mm-hmm. And we didn't know about the place until we got to the hearing because she may have not been exactly truthful as to which of the 84 Planned Parenthood she said she went to. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what happens when a judge ignores this, Brad?
When a judge ignores these most basic principles and conducts an independent investigation, the result is structural error requiring automatic reversal, regardless of whether an ex parte evidence is found by the judge is true, false, or completely accurate. We conclude that Dorsey was deprived of the basic protection of an impartial judge and finder of fact when the judge independently investigated a factual assertion made by a key defense witness and revealed the results of her investigation to counsel. This deprivation constitutes structural error, which precludes harmless error analysis and requires that we reverse without regard to the evidence in Dorsey's particular case.
Okay. Oh, it's just more cleaned up. Citing and quoting Arizona cases, reversing the family law case, stalking where the judge investigated facts independently.
I did find the citation for that one bit for State versus Ring. He removed every reference of a criminal trial.
Oh,
that might be germane. Since this is not criminal and it's family law, like what? I think that might be important. Don't you think so, Jeff?
It could be. Yeah. I mean, it's certainly irrelevant. And dang. The
big line says a criminal trial cannot reliably serve its function as a vehicle for determination of guilt or innocence, ... and no criminal punishment may be regarded as fundamentally fair.
Oh, I see. Yeah, that makes a difference, doesn't it? It really does. And I had a feeling that it had something to do that he was quoting something that was only for criminal because it talked about guilt or innocence. And you don't get
Right.
a guilty or innocent in a civil or family matter. You get, a judgment of liability or non-liability or whatever it is, paternity or non-paternity, custody or
Relief,
what. It's not
non-relief.
guilty or innocent. It's a different standard of what, Jeff?
I've
What are you
lost a dog.
Whoops.
Oh no. Where are the doggies?
That's okay. I have a spare. I have a spare dog.
Spare loaf.
There we go. Always keep a spare dog laying about just in case.
Oh, that's funny.
People pay good money to unlock that achievement. You
It's true. Have to have a spare dog.
Of course, like spare tires. This is just the emergency road version. This isn't your quality tire. This is just like the little one that you're not allowed to drive more than 35 miles an hour when you have it on.
That's a pretty big donut.
He's having a dream. You can see his little feet doing this. He's like having a dream. That's the only time he moves is in his dreams.
Right.
But he only walks in his dreams. But we have this an improper ex parte investigation by a district court is prejudicial when it bases its ruling even in part on the investigation of a fact that is inferred from that investigation. I have questions about the marriage of depriest. Depriest shouldn't be married, as far as I know. But sorry, that was a failed joke. That's what we call a failed joke, people.
Sorry, I wasn't listening because someone was texting me.
Oh no, I just
I missed it.
I said I have a problem with the case marriage of depriest because depriest shouldn't be married in the first place.
Depriest.
Yeah, see, it's he's
Look,
probably
boss,
if he's married, he is depriested. He's married because he's been depriested. Anyway, that's what we call a horribly failed joke. I'll just move on.
I should have been paying attention because I would have laughed.
Yeah. Well, you laughed a minute later, so it kind of hurt worse.
Sorry. Well,
the district
I
court
only
made
didn't laugh because I didn't hear it.
The district court made an important finding of fact that is not based on any evidence introduced at trial, but rather is based on facts otherwise known or believed by the district judge. The district court's error is a structural error that requires automatic reversal of the conviction and a new trial. Otherwise known or believed. That's kind of actually interesting wording. But again, it's a Minneapolis court. It's like a Michigan court. So he does a lot of that too.
It's not relevant.
Quotes from other jurisdictions, Kansas, Minneapolis, Minnesota. I guess.
God, I'd be so pissed if I were the judge who had to read this shit. I'd be so pissed. Like, she probably has an entire docket full of like important cases, custody cases, like real world shit. And I bet hardly any of them submit 30-some page documents to her to read. I'd be so pissed at this point.
I think he's just so used to doing federal work that he's just like, yes, I can go grab from literally any state in this union and cite them because federal trumps everything.
Yeah, these are all state cases, so it's kind of weird, but
it is weird because you wouldn't cite that in a federal case either, would you? I mean, maybe you would. I don't know.
No, you'd cite other federal cases in federal court.
Other federal cases, but not state court cases.
States
weird.
are different. The appellate courts cover different areas and things, but still, you're still within the state. It doesn't make any sense. But that's what he did. And he needed that. That's why it's 32 pages long. He's like quoting from all these other states.
And now he's going to do it again. He's going to repeat over and over again. Is it my turn?
Mine.
Okay.
On page 10 of the judgment, Judge Mata made the following findings of fact, which was purportedly based on testimony from Clayton's medical expert, Dr. Samantha Deans. She, Dr. Deans, testified that Planned Parenthood does not accept anonymous patients. They do not accept patients using an alias. Patients are required to provide a government-issued form of identification. She further testified that Planned Parenthood is not open on Sundays. When petitioner testified, she sought care July 2nd, 2023. And see, maybe this is just like Mandela syndrome. I have memories of them mentioning that during the
I know
hearing.
everybody does. Everybody does. It's really strange. It's really strange because I have people telling me all day long, I know I saw it in a filing or I know I heard it and and we can't find it.
I know I heard it during a hearing. This is just my
It's
memory.
strange.
I heard it during a hearing with you, and they said, you know, that area is closed on Sunday, and I went, "Oh, that's not good." I have this distinct
It's weird,
memory of
and
it.
I don't have the memory of
Wow.
it. I have a different memory of the Sunday issue being something that MG Law brought up on a stream, but that doesn't mean that it wasn't somewhere else. This is a gigantic case file. It could have been somewhere in that case file that we just haven't been able to find because, my
Julia
God,
says, Julia
how
says
could you
because
go
one
back
of you
and read
said
it
it
all?
on stream. We may have, someone may have said it, and it sort of became part of the narrative. At
Well,
some
I
point.
know that MG Law said it, and then I repeated it because I looked at, I was looking at those at the hours, and that's true. But
I
do
thought it
I
was a
think that the
footnote in one of
judge
Woodnick's
is
rulings.
watching us online? I don't. I do
Hmm.
not believe that. So I think the judge did not do. I don't think she did any independent review. I think basically she looked at her calendar. This is my best guess. She's sitting there with all of us. She's listening to the date, the descriptions of what dates Laura says she went to Planned Parenthood. She's got a calendar open on her desk, on her desktop. She goes back to the date and she's looking at it. She sees that it's on a Sunday. And she, from her own mind, extrapolates, oh, it couldn't be open on a Sunday. And then probably just made a harmless error thinking she heard that from Dr. Deans. That's the most reasonable explanation to me, is a harmless error. She reporting something she thought she heard. And it makes sense if you were looking at a calendar.
What would be even funnier is if it was Dr. Dean's in a report that said Planned Parenthoods aren't open on Sundays. And then she attributed it to that, which is funny when you know that the places that she was referencing prior in Costa Mesa and Mission Viejo are in fact open on Sundays.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, I just think she also could have prior knowledge because she's a family court judge, and Arizona and California overlap a lot with residents. And there could absolutely be a reason why she would know that Planned Parenthood might not be open on Sundays. I think he likes to attribute to conspiracy what can be easily explained by something totally innocent. And he loves doing this. It's just something that he does. This guy needs a tinfoil hat. I want to
Just in
make him
case you
one.
were wondering, Megan never does that.
Oh, I totally do all the time. I love conspiracies. And so I understand
The hell
I
you say.
I understand the desire to do that. And I can see, but in this case, I don't see it at all. I see like the easiest explanation is the simplest one. Yes, Occam's razor. Thank you, equality.
Well, he's worked it out here, so we're gonna go through these next 3 paragraphs and get all the answers we need. Megan.
No, we won't. The underlined
Spoiler alert.
text quoted above proves conclusively that Judge Mata committed structural error by performing a secret, undisclosed, ex parte investigation into the facts of this case. This necessarily included the judge reviewing information posted on the internet by Clayton's followers, which she then adopted as a finding of fact. That conclusion is supported by 2 things. First, attached to the notice of change of judge is a true and correct copy of the transcript for the trial held in this matter on June 10th. As reflected in this transcript, Dr. Deans never testified Planned Parenthood is not open on Sundays. Nothing remotely approaching this was never stated by Dr. Deans or any other trial witness. Indeed, the word Sunday appears nowhere in the transcript.
Well, what does that lead to, Dave?
This leads to the second point. If the conclusion that Planned Parenthood...
Let Brad have a turn.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Brad.
This leads to the second point. If the
As
conclusion...
long as he doesn't do it in that accent.
Oh, fine. This leads to the second point. If the conclusion that Planned Parenthood is not open on Sundays did not come from the testimony of Dr. Deans or any other trial witness, it begs to the question, where did that finding come from? The finding was based solely on statements published on social media by Clayton's followers. Dun, dun, dun. This is how we know. Exactly. This is how we know Judge Mata conducted an improper investigation into the facts of this case, because her finding regarding Planned Parenthood's hours of operation was not based on any admitted evidence at trial. It was copied verbatim from social media comments, including an anonymous comment posted on the day of trial on the personal website of undersigned counsel.
So his own website.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
I got
blog.
referenced. Yay.
The blog that he keeps on telling everyone about and blogging.
I don't want to do this, but I'm going to do this.
It's screenshotted below.
Yeah, he screenshotted it.
Yeah. So it's not based on any admitted evidence at trial. It was copied verbatim from the social media comments. Okay. And it's not necessarily anonymous. It's from TED Talks. Planned Parenthood isn't even open on Sundays in LA. All right. Well, continue.
This evidence is standing alone sufficient to prove structural error. As a result, Laura is entitled to an order vacating the judgment in its entirety and ordering a new trial before a different judge pursuant to Family Law Rules 6.1 and 83 sub B.
Okay, that is the argument. That big deal that she did all this extraneous ex parte investigation is the argument he's hanging his hat on. He said, we just have to look at this, and then you don't have to read anything in the next 20 pages.
If he wants me to believe his conspiracy theory, he is going to have to add some lizard people in here somewhere. I mean, I just can't get into it if there are no lizard people. So if he could just allege that Judge Mata is a reptilian, that would get me on board. Because that's the only kind of conspiracy that I like to read about. These stupid conspiracies he keeps coming up with are just...
Yeah. Well, this is again problems I have with his writing style. He's got there's still 20 more pages, and his entire deal is this is the primary argument. If you agree with this argument, you don't have to read the next 20 pages of my brief I submitted.
I know. So why do it? Why continue?
Yeah.
Like, why?
So,
you know what he never tried? He has never tried to be brief. He has never tried to give a one-page motion. I believe he could have gotten his extension very easily from the very beginning.
Mm-hmm.
If he had submitted a one-page, here's who I am. I just got on the case. I really haven't had a chance to look at anything. Please give me 1 week to respond. End of story. He would have got it. Instead, he goes on a 40-page bender about Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Dude. You gotta learn.
Speaking of that, Strawberry wants to be the next governor of Virginia, don't you?
Oh, I'd vote for Strawberry.
Yeah.
I gotta go, though. I gotta go.
Right.
I love you guys. Have fun. Thanks
Nathan.
for letting me pop in. Bye, chat.
Thanks for being here. We'll have you on the Unexplained.
Oh, yeah, we should, because it's a weird story.
Look for
All
2
right,
weeks
see
from
ya.
today, probably.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Megan Fox, everybody. All right. It's just you and me, Brad. We got to get through this.
Yeah, so everything underneath here is his preservation of the appellate record. So
yeah, we don't need to talk about it, but I'm going to talk about it for literally twice as long as I talked about the main argument. So as he says, assuming structural, yeah.
Well, I say a lot of it, he's just saying this wasn't presented on June 10th, so therefore it couldn't have been discussed. Completely ignoring that this has been a 13-month affair. And there's been motions and evidence submitted with those motions, and most of that can be attributed to that.
What in the hell is all this? Assuming structural error occurred, nothing else matters. Nothing really matters. Anyone can see. Automatic reversal is the only permissible option. However, to ensure a complete record, Laura also raises various other arguments, including factual and legal errors contained in the judgment and the pretrial proceedings. This is where I want to see how petty it gets.
Pretty petty.
The legal errors to prevent this brief from exceeding 100 pages or more. A full discussion of all legal errors committed by the trial judge is impossible. Dude.
This is where you can't believe him, because in this same motion, he asked for a leave of extension for the page limits. So then if you're going to do this for the preservation of the appellate record, just include everything, because you've already asked for the extension.
Appeal everything, yeah. It's Tom levels of petty, says David Nelson. I mean, this is just like saying the judge committed 100 pages of legal errors. Sanctions were unavailable as a matter of law.
Rule 26. Next.
Yeah. Laura filed a motion for judgment on the pleadings and renewed motion to dismiss. The motion explained it was undisputed. Clayton's counsel ignored these safe harbor requirements. Laura never provided, but he withdrew it. That's not. How is that a legal error? He withdrew it. They said you did this incorrectly.
Because there wasn't a motion for sanctions present, therefore sanctions shouldn't have been offered, and the Judge Mata couldn't issue sanctions sua sponte under various other legal authorities.
Mm-hmm. The undisputed error, the motion explained the trial judge was not permitted to fix Mr. Woodnick's mistake by granting sanctions. But she didn't grant sanctions, did she?
Attorney's fees was the sanctions for the egregious conduct of Laura filing a petition.
Okay. There's more to it than that, but we'll let him have it. Whatever. As is true of substantially every other legal issue, the trial judge simply ignored this argument and awarded sanctions without any legal grounds to do so. I see it a little differently, but this was clear error as a matter of law.
She cited the particular revised statutes that she was allowed to award sanctions.
Wait, what?
Yeah, so this is even wilder.
What?
So
wait, I just scrolled down because I read this title and I'm like, what? The bench trial violated Laura's right to a jury trial under Arizona Constitution?
So June 27th, 2024.
No, we're going to read through this whole thing. I want to read through this whole thing. That's kind of, he's gone full Daryl Brooks down here. But let's read through this. I was seeing if we could skip it. And no way in hell are we skipping.
You're not skipping that one.
All right. The bench trial. Somehow, not me clearing my throat just made it scratchy. All right. Sorry for the cough in your ear. Both hands were full. Just days ago, the United States Supreme Court issued a decision explaining that litigants cannot be denied their constitutional right to a jury trial simply because the rules of a forum do not permit a jury. What? Okay, I'm going to have to look at that case. You can't deny the right to a jury trial simply because the rules don't let you have a jury. So they're saying the rules of the forum. Okay, I got it. Never mind. So in that case, SEC versus Jarkizi was June 27th, 2020. When was the judgment in this case? June 10th, 12th? Like when was the actual trial?
It was filed, or it was signed 17th, filed 18th. So this was 2 weeks after the judgment.
Okay. That's a problem.
For a case that was probably, years in litigation getting to the Supreme Court.
Yeah, that's a problem, but we'll put that problem aside. The Supreme Court explained the right to a jury trial does not depend on the type of forum or the specific label of the claims at issue. What matters is whether the remedy sought is legal in nature. If so, constitutional right to a jury trial attaches, no matter what forum the case may be in or how the claims are framed. The Seventh Amendment extends with a particular statutory claim if the claim is legal in nature. What determines whether a monetary remedy is legal is if it is designed to punish or deter the wrongdoer, or on the other hand, solely to restore the status quo. As we previously explained, a civil sanction that cannot fairly be said solely to serve a remedial purpose, but rather can only be explained as serving either retributive or deterrent purposes, is punishment and therefore requires a jury trial. So, all right, I'm going to pull Karnak out of my hat and say he's saying that the fact that sanctions were at issue, sanctions are a punishment, therefore it should have required a jury trial.
Basically.
Wow, I'm almost psychic. Be clear for us, Brad.
To be clear, Jarksy only addressed the federal jury trial right under the 7th Amendment, and that specific provision of the Bill of Rights does not apply in state court.
Well, we can just stop right there for a second. Let me, if that said what I think is, the Jarksy only addressed the federal jury trial right under the 7th Amendment. Only federal, not state. And that specific provision of the Bill of Rights does not apply in state court.
And he cites his reasoning for that.
This seems to say his argument is shit. It applies to federal only, and it doesn't apply to states. He's trying to make this argument in state court. Lucy, we got some splaining to do. He better somehow try to explain how this thing that specifically doesn't apply to state courts applies to state courts.
Yes,
Continue.
he does.
Can't wait to hear this. Continue, please.
Explaining the 7th Amendment right to a jury trial does not apply to the states, quoting McDonald versus City of Chicago. This point is irrelevant. However,
wait, why bring it up then? Why bring this whole thing up if it's irrelevant? All right.
Because both Article 2, Section 23 and Article 6, Section 17 of the Arizona Constitution provide in pertinent part that the right to a jury trial shall remain inviolate, and the courts interpret Arizona's constitutional provisions protecting the right to a jury trial consistent with the 7th Amendment. So because they have copycat language in the Arizona Constitution, any decision that is made regarding the 7th Amendment of the federal Constitution should also reply.
Arizona Constitution. What article are we on?
Article 2, Section 23.
Article 2. Arizona Constitution, Article 2. Is this the text or is this just a story about it? Let's go to Ballotpedia. It almost looked like Baldopedia. That was getting weird.
That would be weird.
I was like, I don't think I want to click on that. All right. Section 2. Political power, purpose of government. All political power is inherent in the people, and government derive their just powers from the consent of the governed and are established to protect and maintain individual rights. Article 2, Section 23. Yeah. Scroll in. Section 23, trial by jury, number of jurors specified by law. The right to trial by jury shall remain inviolate. Juries in criminal cases in which sentence of death or imprisonment for 30 years or more is authorized by law shall consist of 12 persons. In all criminal cases, the unanimous consent of the jurors shall be necessary to render a verdict. In all other cases, the number of jurors not less than 6, and the number required. This to me talks about criminal cases.
But it says in all other cases after criminal cases. So would that apply to civil and family?
Well, see, my reading of this talks about the right to trial. And again, I'm not an Arizona attorney, so I may be talking straight out of my ass, but I'm just using my legal powers of reasoning here. Juries in criminal cases where there's 30 years or more must have 12 jurors. Criminal cases where the unanimous consent shall be necessary to render a verdict. Now, this part, in all other cases, I think this means all other criminal cases that don't fit in these two previous sentences about criminal cases.
I think that's where you get to the originalist arguments to say if they had the wherewithal to put criminal in other spots, then the lack of the introduction of criminal in all other cases would lead one to understand that would include civil cases as well, if that was necessary and not being done by a bench trial.
But see, then we look at, but this is all about criminal stuff.
Yeah,
imprisonment for debt, bribery, free speech in elections, bailable offenses, trial by jury, rights of accused in criminal prosecutions, bills of attainder. This is where we get into. bearing arms. So this all is about criminal stuff. So I think that it means in all, but let's see what Article 6, Section 17 says. Scroll on up here. Where's my search terms? My search terms. I didn't bring that up, did I? I didn't show that. Huh. Because I'm dumb like that. Sorry. Arizona. I was having a nice little display here. Y'all should have seen it. I was highlighting shit and everything.
Right?
Get
the telestrator going and
Article 6. Where did there's Ballotpedia again. Article 6, Constitution. Let me bring it up this time so we can all read along at home. Let's remove that. Add this over here. Section 1. What section is it while I'm doing this?
Section 6, 2017.
Right. Let's do this.
I think that was right.
Share screen. Article 6, Ballotpedia. What? I hate these stupid things. Go away. There we go.
I've got the link
this
on Arizona legislator, if that helps. But
this is Article 6 of the Arizona Constitution. Article 6 of the Arizona Constitution is entitled Judicial Department and has 42 sections, which is more than any other article in the Arizona Constitution. Section 6, we say? 17. All right. Section 6. Supreme Court qualification of justices.
no, 17.
All right. But, a justice of the Supreme. Article 6. Oh, Article 6, Section 17. I was looking for Section 6, Part 7. I'm like, I thought he'd completely lost his mind. There we go. Superior Court conduct of business, trial by juries, jury trial, grand juries. Okay, this might answer some questions. The Superior Court shall be open at all times, except on non-judicial days, for the determination of non-jury civil cases.
Well, there's your
and the transaction of business for the determination of civil causes and matters in which a jury demand has been entered. And this is the point I was going to make.
Yeah,
they didn't ask for a jury trial. They didn't ask. And for the trial of criminal causes, a jury trial shall be drawn and summoned from the body of the county as provided by law. The right of jury trial as provided in this Constitution shall remain inviolate, but trial by jury may be waived by the parties in any civil cause or by the parties with the consent of the court. If you don't ask for it, you don't get it.
Yeah.
So this is shit. This entire argument is shit as far as I'm concerned.
You have to exercise the right in order to maintain the right.
Well, that was the big thing I was going to mention. If it was, he didn't ask for a jury. You don't even have to ask for you have the right to a jury in a jury trial in a criminal case, but you don't have to have one. You can not ask for it. And if you don't ask for it, you don't get it. You have to exercise your rights. That's the beautiful thing about rights. They have to be exercised. You don't exercise them, you don't get them.
He might be confusing it because in a criminal case, it's usually trial by jury unless waived.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then here it's bench trial unless you ask for a jury trial.
And that is such standard wording if you want a jury trial in a civil case. That's part of your initial claim. You make the request for a trial by jury, which wasn't done. So I'm confused about him here. Let's get back to our motion because Lucy's got more splaining to do than she had a minute ago. All right, so this point is irrelevant. Why? Why is this point irrelevant? Go ahead. Enlighten us, Brad.
This point is irrelevant, however, because both Article 2, Section 23 and Article 6, Section 17 of the Arizona Constitution provides, in pertinent part, the right to a jury trial shall remain inviolate. And courts interpret Arizona constitutional provisions protecting the right to a jury trial consistent with the 7th Amendment.
Yeah, I don't think it says what he says it says.
No.
I think the whole thing, the section, Article 2 was about criminal cases only, and Article 6 says kind of the opposite of what he says it says.
Yeah.
All right. To be fair, he's going to be fair. So apparently he's going to admit everything that I say. To be fair, in Fisher, the Court of Appeals rejected the appellant's argument that Civil Procedure 77, providing for an award of attorney's fees, I was right, in certain appeals from compulsory arbitration, violated her right to a jury trial under Arizona Constitution. But that finding was based on two materially different facts. The possibility of a fee award here does not act as an unreasonable or significant burden impairing the right to a jury trial. All right. And then Rule 77, blah, blah, blah. Both provide safeguards to ensure that the right to have a jury decide ultimate issues is not significantly burdened or impaired. The Superior Court is limited to awarding reasonable attorney fees and expert fees and may decline to award such fees if it would create a significant economic hardship on the appellant. Why those italics were added is beyond me, but okay. It's irrelevant to the argument.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Here, both of the safeguards were entirely absent. First, as an initial matter, unlike Fisher, here the ultimate issues were not decided by a jury. They were decided solely by the court. That fact standing alone explains why this case is completely different from Fisher. Second, Clayton has requested an award of more than $150,000 in fees, and there is no provision for the court to decline to award those fees based on economic hardship. Third, Clayton asked the court to find, and it actually did find, that Laura engaged in fraud and other conduct that would be tortious and actionable in a civil proceeding, assuming it was true, which it was not.
Wow. In effect, unlike the outcome in Fisher, which occurred in this case, is that a single judge was permitted to decide all ultimate issues in the case and then award an unlimited amount of fees. It's not unlimited, you dumbass.
It's determining reasonableness.
You have to submit your bills. And they go, okay, this is your bill. It's not unlimited. It's limited to the amount you submitted as a bill minus everything that the judge doesn't accept as legit. This is a dumb sentence. This is just factually incorrect. And then award an unlimited amount of fees to punish Laura as a result. It's not a punishment. You have to make him whole. He blew all of this money on you defending against your case. You're making him whole. It's not just to punish. This outcome clearly and directly violated Laura's right to a jury trial under Arizona Constitution. This is the stupidest argument that I have read in a very, very long time, Brad.
Oh, man.
I don't understand it at all. This is odd. I mean, good Lord.
So my brain is having a mental problem at the moment. He comes from the civil litigation and federal and defamation suits and things like that. So is he confusing the idea that is he thinking that she's going to get awarded or she's going to get punished with some kind of fee to deter her conduct? I can't remember the term of it off the top of my head.
I think he's just saying that's a lot of money. You're punishing her because it's so much money and she doesn't have it.
She did claim in court that she gets $200,000. So that makes it really hard to say that it's unreasonable to ask for $150,000 if that's what your supposed annual salary is.
I just don't get this argument at all. This is weird. It makes it. I mean, I can't even dunk on it or say anything funny. I'm just truly baffled as to why he thought this has any
punitive
merit.
Damages. Thank you. That's what I was trying to think of.
Yeah, I'm just baffled at why this is even in here. This is such a weird argument to make.
Yeah, especially since it was decided after the trial date, which makes it even weirder.
Yeah, that's weird. It's weird that all the things for these cases he was relying on were dealt with criminal matters, and then he didn't ask for a jury trial. If he asked for a jury trial, I'm sure he might have gotten it. And dear Lord, do you want to put this in front of 6 people? How do you think the 6 people are going to listen to this story and come to a different conclusion?
One of my interesting theories, he's gone through a number of motions where it looks like he picks up the Washington Post and reads a headline and goes, "This might be good to put in my argument." So then he talks about the Harvey Weinstein case, Donald Trump being in court, a Supreme Court case being decided, and he's like, "Ooh, that sounds like it'd be good to put in here." Like, it's baffling that he tries to put so many current events into his legal briefs.
Oh, wow. Deb Peterson says, if you don't get it, imagine how the rest of us feel.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Oh, no. Now he's gone full Daryl Brooks here. The court lacked subject matter jurisdiction over tort claims such as defamation, fraud, and extortion.
But those weren't actually part of the claim. The claim was non-paternity.
Yeah, that's why I'm not even going to read it.
I mean, can you make a finding of fact that would be, in essence, what would be the foundation for a civil tort claim? Because wouldn't that preclude you from being able to request a claim on those matters because it was already found by a trial judge?
Brad, what's going on here? What's going on here?
He's saying that Woodnick, in the Gillespie case, was asking for fraud and intentional infliction of emotional distress against Laura, and because the court they lost that case, he's saying that Woodnick is trying to seek retribution in this case to make up for the loss of the prior case.
Yeah, as shown in the request for judicial notice, Mr. Woodnick lost the case, with the court granting summary judgment on the counterclaims. This helps explain Mr. Woodnick's decision to bring essentially identical tort claims in a different court, knowing this court lacked subject matter jurisdiction over claims of this nature.
But they were not in the.
No, they weren't. This is so weird. All right. Well, the court applied the wrong legal standard. Oh, did they really? Do you think so?
This goes to reasonableness of Laura for submitting the paternity action versus having some belief.
Yeah, this is all the stuff that he's just said over and over and over and over and over again. You don't have to have a sonogram before you file. If you reasonably believe you're pregnant, you can file. You just have to think you're pregnant. Found sanctions are not. It's the sanctions thing. Guys, come on. The correct legal standard is not whether Laura acted unreasonably when she initiated litigation without basis or merit. That is a purely erroneous legal rule. Instead, the question is whether at the time she filed this action on August 1st, did Laura have some basis to think she might be pregnant and that Clayton might be the father? That is so much different than what he said on day 1 or 2 when he got involved in this.
But it also, that question can be answered by her own testimony. If she passed fetal sacs and did not obtain care to determine the viability of the pregnancy before filing this paternity action, then yes, it is unreasonable.
Yeah. And geez, you hogs.
You're rubbing some Harleys back there.
Can you hear how loud that is?
Yeah.
They're having fun over there. No, you aren't.
It's on logs.
Wow. All right. Sorry, the dogs just got extra snory there for a minute. Whether a reasonable attorney have concluded the facts supporting the claim might be established, not whether the facts actually had been established. Regardless of whether she miscarried later and regardless of whether she was in fact pregnant, to force Clayton to participate in it. This is all shit that he's been arguing from day one that nobody has ever accepted. She knew all these things. Even if medical advice Laura received from her doctor was wrong, and there's no basis to support such a conclusion.
This is the interesting part. This talks about she emailed a Barrow doctor
Mhm.
asking whether or not the epilepsy medication that she was on could have influenced the HCG results. I don't actually remember seeing the contents of those emails.
I don't either. And even if Clayton's theory was right, i.e., that Laura's epilepsy medication caused a false positive result, and even if Laura was never actually pregnant at all, there is simply no evidence to show that she knew all these things before this action was filed. Okay, thus, if the trial court had applied the correct legal standard, it could not have properly found Laura lacked a good faith basis to think she might be pregnant when this action was filed. Oh, I think there's other grounds to come to the conclusion that she lacked a good faith basis to think she was pregnant. I think there's other ways you can arrive at that particular destination. And do we want to read about misapplying the revised statute 2534?
June 28th was the having the baby if I don't hear back tonight email.
the email that inspires songs.
Yes.
AKA the cat lady. Hey, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. We'll give you a bell for that. This is the most explanation I've gotten on this nonsense. Oh, I'm sorry, because my explanation has pretty much been an I don't understand what's going on here non-explanation. I'm actually not explaining this. I'm explaining that I don't understand why it's here. He's pretty good at freaking us out until we apply common sense. Thanks. And again, this would be a reason why I would want to interview him. Will you please explain how this applies to the case? Please explain. I would like to do some of those things with him. The court may order a person to. This is all about sanctions. This is all about legal fees. He's not getting to any of the actual substantive parts of her arguments and assertions. This is all the extraneous stuff.
She couldn't award attorney's fees because she cited the wrong statute under which. But if the statute is still valid, then she would be able to assign it, even if she cited the wrong justification for it.
Well, I'll take your word for it. So we don't have to read it. Factual errors.
This is 26 bullets.
26?
26 bullets of misspellings or things that he's found within the case. This takes up basically half the document.
Yeah, we're 12 pages from the end here. So multiple subparts of Rule 83 permit mistakes in a judgment to be corrected for various reasons, such as where the court did not properly consider admitted evidence, mistakenly overlooked or misapplied contested fact, or where a finding of fact is not supported by the evidence. Here, a judgment contains multiple factual errors, which implicate one or more subparts. Accordingly, these errors should be corrected as follows. Let's read a couple of these. Take us through one.
Page 2 of the judgment contains the following finding. Laura Owens, petitioner, filed a pro per petition to establish paternity, legal decision-making, parenting time, and child support on May 20th, 2023. No, this is incorrect because it was actually filed on August 1st.
Oh, sweet Jesus. That's where that's what we're going to do. Page 2 of the judgment contains the following finding. On October 6th, 2023, petitioner filed for an ex parte order for protection. Oop. After hearing the oop was affirmed, the same day the RAV-Gen results indicated little or no fecal DNA. Damn it. Fetal DNA. Sorry, Dr. Freud. Good Lord. The same day the RAV-Gen results indicated little to no fetal matter. As to the last sentence of this finding, the RAV-Gen results were received on the same day, October 6th. The finding is unsupported by any admitted evidence.
This is where it gets really petty because he's like, it wasn't admitted at the evidentiary hearing, so therefore it shouldn't exist. Ignoring the complete record that was before him because he really likes to say, well, that was before my time, so I don't know.
Yeah, so this is all just petty stuff, isn't it?
Basically. There's a couple of funny tidbits in the middle towards the bottom where he's actually correcting the judge on grammar and words. Go to line 14 or bullet 14.
Page 4 of the judgment contains the following finding. A trial petitioner testified that the parties had sexual intercourse and that it was rape. I'm sorry, YouTube. This finding misstates the evidence. Laura Laura asserted both at trial and before that Clayton briefly inserted his penis into her vagina without her consent. And this conduct may fit the technical definition of ARP, but she did not intend to accuse him of ARP. She came right straight out and said, "You forced me against my will." She said that in her own freaking affidavit.
Yeah.
She said but she didn't want him charged. Not that she didn't intend to accuse him. She just didn't want him charged. And that she did not personally consider his conduct to be ARP or any. No, that's not what happened. So yeah, this is just dumb. Oh, here's something in color though. It's just important. Page 5 of the judgment contains the following finding. In the something to consider email, respondent maintains that a lack of sexual intercourse would preclude him from being the father of the fetuses. Oh, Lord. He's going to say, okay, no, that misstates the reality because sperm can wander around.
Well,
Please
no, because Clayton said, comma, the chances of you being pregnant seem considerably low, although, again, maybe running up against one another allowed sperm to make its way inside you, but it's a very low probability. Nonetheless, it is one.
So there was, so that's what I'm saying. It's the old thing,
So you're saying there's a chance.
Yeah, this is so distasteful. All right, 14.
All right, this page.
Go ahead.
So page 7 of the judgment contains the following finding. The court finds the testimony uncredible and misuse of judicial resources.
Wait, what?
Uncredible
What?
Is not a word.
Yeah, what? Uncredible.
It actually is a word.
Okay.
It's not a word in frequent circulation, but it is still a word.
Uncredible, British English, archaic, not able to be believed. It's an archaic word. All right.
But then he also says uncreditable is also not a word. So.
No, that is a word.
Well, he says it's not. That's in the next page or the next line item.
Okay, I will admit I have not heard uncredible before. Sort of thinking like, me fail English? That's impossible. So, all right. The court finds this uncredible is not a word. I agreed with you until I just checked it out in the dictionary. Yeah, it's just like right there. I even looked at 3 different dictionaries and it's all a word. And to the extent the misuse of judicial resources finding referred to the immediately preceding finding that Laura, she did not file a motion to dismiss or make arrangements to advise or respond to this finding is not supported by admitted evidence. What the fuck? What? How is his explanation of that?
So,
he just I thought he was going to correct her here, but that was just like it's not a word.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So I was trying to figure. I thought he was just going to go off on an explanation of why it's not a word and how she made a mistake and she needs to correct it to incredible. No, now he's actually talking about the misuse of judicial resources.
Yeah. And then
uncreditable is not a word.
Uncreditable is not a word. And to the extent that the court find Laura's conduct to be unreasonable, the finding is not supported by admitted evidence is based on application of the incorrect legal standard. This is not a negligence case, and the reasonableness of Laura's healthcare decisions is not relevant in any fact at issue.
This is so dumb.
Yeah.
Uncredible is not a word. We've
You said that the first time.
Yeah, we've debunked that. Why is he doing this? I don't understand. Why would you?
He's literally finding every Scribner's error and this isn't possible. You shouldn't be doing this. And
I'll bet there's at least 1 or 2 spelling or grammatical errors.
Right there. It's literally at the bottom.
Dimish.
It's diminish. It's not dimish, but
okay. Sick. He's sicked her.
Yeah.
Referring to dimish sick. Okay, great. Dimish and credibility. Credibility is a word, isn't it?
Yeah.
Why would it not be a word? Words don't. Shut up.
He's 2 + 2 = fishing us.
Yeah, it's the noun form of creditable. It's the ability to be creditable. What? Come on, Jingras, what are you doing this for? Are we done with that shit now?
Well, yes, with that bit, and then we go into this. The finding that Laura altered. That Laura altered the only records to indicate pregnancy misstates the evidence and was not supported by any evidence admitted at trial. Not supported by evidence admitted. Not supported by any admitted evidence at trial gets repeated frequently.
Yeah, they were like you were saying. That's the Beetlejuice thing. Just say Beetlejuice enough times, and it happens. The court further finds that petitioner repetitively failed to comply with rules. Laura somehow predicted. This is just dumb. I'm not going to read any more of this shit. This is stupid.
Yeah,
this is just nonsense. Sorry, David Gingras. This is just nonsense.
So all 26 bullet points done. We go to the additional relief requested.
Laura further requests Hey, David, you made an error here. Should be a T right there, buddy.
How dare you?
David. See, I knew we would catch one if we looked. Laura further requests that the following. That's why I love grammar police. The grammar Nazis. Because they always fuck up within minutes of dragging someone else into it. The order granting a motion for leave to amend. These are the things that he wants tossed out, which is everything.
Including the motion to compel lunch.
Well, he should want that tossed out. He should be ashamed and embarrassed that ever got in there. He should want that burned and buried. Jesus, made into a diamond, and that's dumb.
Too good for that motion.
Okay, here we are. This is the motion to compel lunch. I think we'll read this because it's fun. First, many of the trial court's orders granted relief in favor of Clayton, but in substantially every instance, Clayton's counsel, Greg Woodnick, filed those motions without making any attempt to meet or confer. Woodnick further filed a motion to compel.
This is about the timeliness of disclosure requirements.
I thought he was going to explain why his motion to compel lunch was a good thing. It wasn't. On conclusion, for the reason stated above, Laura respectfully requests an order vacating the June 17th, 2024 judgment in its entirety, granting additional relief as requested above, and ordering a new trial before a new judge. So he's got 32 pages of just stuff, just lots and lots and lots of stuff.
Yep.
And it's bad enough I didn't even want to read it. So the judge, was it yesterday she gave her ruling?
I
think it was yesterday. I'm like trying to calculate 18th. Through time zone.
It was yesterday.
Yeah. Because it was 2 days ago for me, yesterday for everybody else.
Yeah.
Time zones suck. So yeah, he wants it all. He wants everything thrown out. He wants all this. He wants all these changes made. He talks about the judge basing everything on improper bases of law. She's doing all these other and then we get the ruling. It's kind of small. This is the entire ruling in case you haven't seen it yet, people.
Mm-hmm.
The entire ruling says the court received and considered petitioner's motion to vacate judgment, motion for new trial, alternatively motion to alter/amend, motion to leave to exceed page limits filed on July 12th, 2024. This is the part. It is ordered. The motion is denied. 4 words.
Denied. Sit down.
4 words. The motion is denied. That's it. Hope you enjoyed writing that 32-page shitstorm. Motion is denied. Deb Peterson, no, it's not 1 page. It's 4 words. It's 4 words on 1 page of other stuff. It's just, It's just this. How are we going to do this? I hate these things. I couldn't actually find the downloadable version. So I guess we're not going to be able to.
We didn't have one. All we had was
this
image.
This is it here. It's 4 words. The motion is denied. That's the whole thing, right there.
And then after this, he writes a blog post because he's
that's where we're going next. That's where we're going next. Don't worry, we got the blog post locked and loaded. We will end with his awesome blog post. Where are we? Here's the ruling.
I think awesome is giving him too much credit.
Oh, I think it was pretty awesome. I just love it. It was 4 words. She didn't even go through and explain why she was doing. She's like, it's denied. Fuck off. Off you fuck. That's all she was saying.
I'm tired of you.
Yeah, I'm done. Take it off to appeals land. I'm done with you. All right. Present. This is from Jingers here. Do we need to read his? Oh yeah, it is prefaced with his tweet that says, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this, but today's Laura Owens v. CE development needs some explanation. Again, I will ignore my better judgment and leave comment open for now. Fair comment / questions / criticisms are fine. Hate will be blocked and will turn comments off.
See, you don't like the accent that I throw in there, but snobby British person fits his writing style really well.
I just kind of accidentally slipped into evil overlord guy voice. So are we putting you? Are we even? We got like a half a dog in each camera. We have to focus on one. Let's see here. We'll go distance for Yoda there. Because presumably.
Rabbits.
Yeah, Yoda will remain asleep longer than Strawberry will. So let's give the people what they paid for. Not that the dogs are behind a paywall. It's just an achievement that's unlocked. Well, we can't even really see Yoda there. So there we go. That's part of Yoda.
And he got up.
Yes, as soon as I say this, like time to wake up. Dumbass. All right. This is Laura Owens v. Clayton Echard, Into the Void, free speech zone, unless you happen to disagree with me.
Right?
Yeah. Free speech for some. Some people are more equal than others.
And they got rid of Lake Michigan, which is terrible. I hate that.
They just covered it with a flag. Laura Owens v. Clayton Echard, Into the Void. You won't believe this. No, really, you won't. But I do not want to blog about Owens v. Echard anymore.
Let me continue blogging.
At least not in the current phase. I have better things to do. How do you feel if you're Laura Owens now and you read that he says, I've got better things to do than talk about you?
So the funny thing about that is some have pondered that this is all a ploy to satisfy her, and any effort that he's doing to try and allay their fears that they're actually losing is keeping the bands tight and preventing a bar complaint that will be eventually coming.
Yeah, it's coming. Whether no matter what he does, there's going to be a bar complaint. I bet. That's where my money is, but that's not an unreasonable assumption to make. I have better things to do. Again, that probably makes that if I was Laura, if you're watching this, Laura, you should feel bad about that. You're not important anymore. He's got better things to do than talk about your case, which of course he does. But
considering he's your PR manager, that he's doing pro bono, and now he's like, no, I don't want to do this no more.
And the case isn't at a place where there's much important news stuff to discuss. Like this is often appeals land. It's going to be a while before it should be a while before we have any more filings on this case whatsoever. The next thing we need to do is wait for the judgment on the new judge to come down.
So new judge, the application of fees, and then his eventual notice of intent to appeal.
Yeah, that's where I'm looking at here. This will come later, probably, but not now. Probably. So that's it. He's not sure. He said that they were definitely going to appeal, but unless he's talking about him commenting publicly, we just don't know.
Yeah, I think that's what he's referring to.
Go ahead.
On the other hand, with so much inaccurate information being spread every day by the JFC cult, this puts me in a difficult position. Do I ignore the BS, as I've tried to do since last month? Or do I respond and try to set things straight?
I know the JFC cult hates me with a white-hot passion. You haven't tried to make them your friends. David, I think I'm going to give you a chance. I think I'm going to offer you a platform to try to make some friends. But you can't deny what recently happened with the notice of change of judge. At least some of the less extreme JFC fanatics stopped for a moment, looked at the facts, and realized, Jesus, Gingras has a valid point we can't refute.
Yet.
He's got to be hanging his hat on the internet search for the Planned Parenthood thing.
Don't deny it, you did.
You did. So even though it is really, really, really hard to change the minds of people who made up their minds months ago, and even though I have seriously enjoyed not talking about this case, there is still a glimmer of hope. Well, as Oscar Wilde said, the only thing worse than being talked about is not being talked about. There is still a small chance that some people might stop drinking Clayton's Kool-Aid.
It was Flavor Aid, not Kool-Aid.
Well, sick. This isn't a filing, so you have a little bit more leeway, but just be better. That's all. Just be better. Come on, David, be better. Even for a minute, they may finally realize the truth that there are serious problems in the way the case had been handled, and those issues deserve public attention, concern, and perhaps corrective action. Ooh, tell us. What are his options? Ooh.
Okay, so I basically have two options. One, allow the JFC cult's one-sided and often incorrect narrative to be the only public commentary. Or two, when important issues arise, offer my own comments to explain my views about the legal rules, procedures, etc.
Well, I don't love either option, but I think the harm that comes from option one requires me to go with option two.
That's the funny thing is he feels the need that they're talking about this case in the one thing, but you would be doing better to just file proper motions and making your case, and then if you win, then you prove that everyone is spewing hot air violently into the internet. What happens all the day, every day.
Has anyone actually switched sides? No, not that I'm aware of. I don't know where anyone has gone from Echard's side to her side, and there's literally only her and the crazy lyricist on her side. So
I know the tilted lawyer went from neutral to Clayton's side, but I haven't seen anyone actually crossing the picket line.
Yeah. And unless we suddenly start hearing weird, badly worded AI songs in favor of Clayton, other than the ones that Megan and I and others produce, then we'll know that crazy lyricist or whatever the hell her damn name is hasn't come over to just hasn't seen the light yet. He's writing in one sentence paragraphs, which is bad form anyway.
Yeah.
I'll just kind of get through. I'll read through this part. 3 paragraphs at a time. I failed in a mission here. First of all, how long is this thing? Oh, hell no. Okay. It's 2/3 comments.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Agreed. And I thought Jingers said he doesn't have time for Reddit. The lies are ongoing.
Laura sent that to me. He says someone else. No, Laura sent that to me. No one else is sending him things.
You're subscribed and on one of the cult members' pages. If JFC stops commenting, I will instantly do the same. Well,
doubt.
JFC, they're not an entity. They don't have a lawyer. Anyway, shut up, Jeff. Just read the damn paragraphs. Well, that said, here's the deal. Earlier today, Judge Mata issued a one-line order. No,
he's mad.
Technically four words, but we'll give you the entire line where it says, thus it's ordered, or whatever it said. Denying all my post-trial motions, motion to vacate for judgment, motion for new trial, etc. Is that a big win for Clayton? Obviously, JFC thinks so, but here's why they're so wrong. All right. Read the 2 paragraphs why we're wrong.
First, as everyone knows, on July 8th, 2024, I filed a notice of change of judge for cause. That notice was based on Rule 6.1 of the Rules of Family Law Procedure, which allows any party to ask for a new judge when grounds exist. In this case, we argue Judge Mata is biased and that she acted improperly for reasons explained in the notice. I understand that most people following the case are not lawyers, and that's fine. But at that same time, if you're not currently licensed to practice law in Arizona, and if you do not have
me.
And if you do not have substantial experience practicing civil litigation in Arizona's trial and appellate courts, you
Also
really need to be careful about rushing to judgment regarding what you think the law says.
All right, I'm game. Educate me here.
Although I don't follow this case closely on social media, when I do see comments, mostly forwarded by Laura and others, easily 90% of the JFC comments are about the law are simply dead wrong.
All right, well, educate me. I'm being very careful. I get that JFC doesn't care about the truth. Well, that might be a little stretch to say that, but okay. I also get that JFC is allowed to claim that I don't know the law. She's treating like the justice for Clayton read it as if it's a single person.
Yeah.
I also get that JFC is allowed to claim that I don't know the law. That's why we have courts to settle these disputes. But here's the deal. JFC wants to fight this battle on social media, not in court. And JFC thinks the order today is a win for Clayton. That's absolutely wrong as a matter of law. Oh, it's a matter of law that they can't consider it a win? Oh, it is a win until it's not a win.
Yeah.
It's a win unless for some reason someone tells them it's not a win. So, yeah.
Double think.
Yeah, that's just kind of gaslighting here. First, the order today is void. All right, this should be interesting. That means it literally doesn't exist. Well, it does exist, but it should be treated as if it never existed. Because Mata had no authority to issue this order, while the notice of change of judge remains unresolved. And no, the notice has not been denied as of yet. Okay. I think this might be the best point he's ever been able to make in the entire thing. This might be a thing. I'm going to embiggen this more. So there we go. Let's read this because this sounds like a reasonable argument. All right, good. Let's go ahead. Read just a couple of paragraphs here.
Down a little bit more. That conclusion is based in part on the text of the Family Law Rule 6.1 sub A sub 3, which explains the procedure once a notice of change of judge is filed. 3. On the filing of the affidavit for cause, the named judge shall proceed no further in the action, except to make such temporary orders as are necessary to prevent immediate and irreparable harm from occurring before the request is decided and the action transferred. However, if the named judge is the only judge in the county, that judge may also perform the functions of the presiding judge. You got that?
That's actually a good argument, I think. Just going on what he said. I don't know the context is. I don't know. We're just assume everything is the way it's exactly presented here. This seems like a reasonable argument. He's saying that once you submit that change of judge notice, the case stops and the judge is no longer allowed to rule on anything until that issue is resolved.
Right.
That's what he's saying. That's actually a very good argument. I would be interested to hear the other side's version, but as it's presented, I think it's a very good argument. What do you think, Brad?
So there's been multiple speculations, and the one that I'm tending to lean on is while the notice or the ruling on the change of notice has not been submitted, there may have been an inclination given by the presiding judge to Judge Mata saying, yeah, I'm going to deny this, so you can go ahead and work on this other one. And then there may have been a clerical error in which one was filed. But because it was filed yesterday, there's time today that would allow someone to be able to fix that finding, but it didn't come out yet. So that starts becoming less and less likely.
But it's interesting. This is, I mean, worst, I guess one option is they say, okay, you can't hear this. And then the new judge has to hear the motion and denies it. Or they send it back to her and she goes, oh, all right, I'll just reissue it again. There, done. But this is actually a good argument, it seems, on the face of it.
Right. But he gets extra condescending now.
Chloe Albert's revenge says, no, Jeff, she wasn't ever pregnant. None of this happened. So by default, there are no good arguments. No, this is outside of the facts. This is pure legal argument here. So this is actually a good argument. I like that. Got that? There you go. You make what I consider to be a very good argument, which it does seem to be the way he's presenting it. And then he goes and ruins it with got that.
Mm-hmm.
This shouldn't be that hard to understand. Well, why don't you say, there we go. I showed you. Just let it with it. Why do you got to be insulting twice? But this is, like I said, this isn't a court filing. You can do whatever the hell he wants in this thing. It's just unnecessary. Got that? This shouldn't be that hard to understand. If the judge assigned to your case is biased and unwilling to follow the law, you have a legal right to ask the presiding judge, Mata's boss. See, it was here in the alleged realm, but then you start mentioning, people's names, and then you pull it out of the realm of hypothetical or example, and you bring it into the real world, and that's bad. To look at the situation to determine if you are entitled to a new judge. While that request is pending, the case is placed on hold. The rule says that while the notice is pending, the named judge, Mata, should proceed no further in the action. The only exception is to make temporary orders to prevent irreparable harm. Obviously, that exception doesn't apply here, so once again, Mata has ignored the rules and done something she has no right to do. I gotta say, sounds good to me at this point, but continue on, Brad.
So what happens next? What happens when a judge ignores the law and continues to make rulings in the case after a notice is filed? Well, believe it or not, that does happen sometimes, and the Arizona courts have been clear. Any action taken by the notice judge after the notice is filed is void. It is well settled that when an affidavit of bias and prejudice is timely filed, the judge has no discretion to do anything further in the case except to transfer the case to another division. Citing West versus Superior Court in 1968, since he had no jurisdiction to do other than transfer the preliminary injunction proceedings to another judge, the order granting the preliminary injunction was void. Also citing Itzka Bank versus Superior Court.
Now I'm starting to waver here because there's a couple of important things. In this case, it seems like, again, I don't know what the case says, but just from extrapolating from context here, this seems like the judge had already been booted off the case, and I don't know. Do I dare click? I'm clicking here real quickly, people.
That might be the one above it. It might be Itzka State that you want.
It's the State v. Superior Court. Okay, I see what we've got here. Still, it's the same thing. The judge has no discretion to do anything further except transfer the case. Download PDF. I don't want to download the PDF. Real quick, let me just look at the facts here. This causes an application from original writ of certiorari by statute. Grape in the first degree. Yeeks. General rule: we do not resolve questions that have been mooted. Sorry, just kind of quickly scrolling through this. Counsel appeared as an amicus prior to the amendment of the Arizona. It's legalese here. We need to go off. The predatory nature of man has changed in the last decade. If mistake of fact is to be the standard of permissive conduct, the legislature is appropriate. We hold that the court below is acting without any authority. We hold that the court below is acting without authority of law in directing a verdict against Mr. Ochoa, not guilty of the charge. The only elements necessary to this doesn't say what. I don't see how this has anything to do with.
So I'm looking.
But this is a different thing. This is a different case, huh? This is West v. Superior Court, and I'm looking at State v. Superior Court in this thing.
I don't know. I'm looking at Ithaca State Bank versus Superior Court.
Yeah, that's not what he's quoting here. All right. This is the date published May 28th, 1969. This is Arizona, 1968. State of Arizona Petitioner v. Superior Court of Pima County. Whatever. All right, let's give him a crack at the state bank. Is that the right case?
So I pull it up. It says the trial judge to whom the affidavit of disqualification is addressed has no discretion whatsoever, provided the affidavit is filed in time.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that might be the big thing, because the reply to the notice of change of judge, Woodnick's argument was that it was not timely filed and therefore it is moot.
Yeah, so I'm not so excited about it now that we've read further. And like I said, it seems. Can you? I just opened it up myself. See if I can't see if there's anything in there where the judge may have been removed from the case before this became a problem. Order granting petitioner and out of the bank seeks an intervention of the court extraordinary writ to review a refusal by the respondent judge to assign a show cause hearing to another judge. This is all right, whatever. It's not worth it. Let's put it at that. Let's just leave it there, shall we? It's not worth going into detail. If he wants to set out the facts of the case, let him. I'm not going to do his work for him. All right, let's see here. Got that? Here's these cases. Now it's too big. That's what she said. Where the hell have I gone? Oh, here we are.
There.
All right, go ahead, Chief.
In Arizona, like most cases, when a judge issues a void order, that order is literally treated as if it doesn't exist. Based on this, today's order denying our request for a new trial, etc., is void and thus has zero legal effect. But there's also a second problem.
Oh, is there now?
Today's order is not signed. It is what we in Arizona call an unsigned minute entry order. Why does that matter? It matters because in Arizona, and again in virtually every court I've practiced in, uses the same rule. Unsigned orders aren't final. That makes them very different from a signed order.
It wasn't signed? Huh. All right. So sign it. I've closed the window. I've closed the Reddit window. All right. You can only appeal final orders from the court. Again, if you're not a lawyer, this may sound crazy, but while a case is pending, the judge may issue lots of different orders. Orders granting, denying discovery, orders extending deadlines, orders setting hearing dates, orders dismissing parties or claims, orders denying a request to dismiss parties' claims. The list is basically endless. The law, however, is crystal clear. With only a tiny handful of exceptions, most orders issued in the middle of a case do not qualify as final. Under the rules, to be considered final, an order must terminate the entire cases to all claims, issues, and parties, and the order must be signed by the judge. If anything is left unresolved, or if the order isn't signed, then any order issued by the court is not considered final. Okay, let's assume, it's easily checkable, so I don't know why he would say it's not signed when it is. I just put it back on the judge's desk. Done. That's very easily rectifiable.
I think because a final order closes all unresolved matters, because you have the application of attorney's fees and whatnot, and he goes in to say, And to help make things even more confusing, the rules do allow a judge to issue something called a partial final order or a partial final judgment. The post-trial ruling on June 17th was a partial final judgment, but to qualify as a partial final judgment/order, the decision is required to contain very specific language and findings. Any order that doesn't contain such language is deemed non-final and thus not appealable. So what's the point of all this? Well, putting aside the fact that it's otherwise void, the order issued today was not signed, nor does it meet the requirements of a partial final judgment. Therefore, even if the order wasn't void, which it is, it would almost certainly not be appealable. That means the order is just kind of an odd, meaningless nullity. As a practical matter, that's exactly like this order never existed at all.
I'm going to start calling certain people odd, meaningless nullities. All right, so sign the damn document, and then this whole thing goes away. But again, don't take my word for it. Here's what the Arizona Court of Appeals said in a similar decision issued earlier this month. We lack jurisdiction to consider husband's appeal from the order awarding attorney's fees to wife. The second amended notice of appeal lists the signed minute entry dated April 28th, 2023. There is no such signed order. The record includes an unsigned minute entry order dated April 28th, 2023, filed May 1st, 2023. This order does not state the fee award amount, nor does it comply with Rule 78B, thus is not a final appealable order. Husband also filed a separate notice of appeal when the Superior Court later awarded wife $35,000. See, it probably cost him like $5,000 to not give his wife $3,500.
Yeah.
Divorce cases make people do that. Filed a separate notice of appeal, and the Superior Court later awarded a wife $35.52 in fees and costs in a signed order with Rule 78B language. We dismissed husband's appeal from the attorney's fee judgment, finding a ruling was improper. As a result, we dismissed the appeal. Blah 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 blah. Constantine v. Constantine. See what I said? Anytime you see the two same names on one lawsuit, it's a divorce case.
Okay.
Break it down as simply as possible for us, Brad.
Got all this straight, folks? Let me break it down as simply as I can. The order today is void because it was issued by a judge who is subject to an unresolved notice of change of judge for cause. Because the order is void, it has no legal effect. The order is unsigned and therefore non-final. Why does that matter? It matters for two reasons. First, you can't appeal non-final orders, and second, Laura's time to appeal does not begin running until the court issues a final signed order. That comes straight from Rule 9E sub 1 and the Arizona Rules of Civil Appellate Procedure, which states if a party timely and properly files with the Superior Court clerk any of the following motions, the time to file a notice of appeal or cross appeal for all parties begins to run from the entry by the Superior Court of Clerk a signed written order disposing of the last such remaining motion. That's also the same issue discussed with the Constantine case mentioned above. You can't appeal unsigned minute entry orders because they're not final. Because the unsigned order is non-final, Laura's time to appeal has not started running yet. Per Rule 9E sub 1, Laura has 30 days to appeal from the entry of a signed written order disposing of her post-trial motions. We don't have a signed order yet, so the clock hasn't started ticking. Like virtually everything else in the law, there is a narrow exception that might permit, but not require Laura to appeal the unsigned order immediately, even though today's order is not appealable on its face. This post is long enough already, but if you really want to become an expert on obscure issues in the appellate jurisdiction, read this: Barassi versus Madison, 1981. No.
I just have this vision flash through my head. There's some overworked, disgruntled court clerk somewhere going, "Oh, for fuck's sake, Judge, would you just sign this?" Just like slaps the paper on the desk. Just for the love of God, sign this, Judge. I just kind of had that image pop into my head. Sorry to interrupt you with
good.
My brain ramblings.
But the funny thing about this is, like, there are interlocutory appeals. Like, anything that gets ruled on, you could take as an interlocutory to an appellate court and try and get some sort of, the court erred in this reason because of this problem. Nick did the same thing with his defamation case against Monty.
And look how that's working out.
Well, that's a different story.
Continue.
Finding premature notice of appeal from a non-final order was okay because dismissal of the present appeal would punish the appellate for being too diligent. I don't think this exception applies here because there are too many other unresolved issues hanging out there, such as the notice of change of judge, plus the amount of fees.
Oh my God, is this a never ending this? Okay, good. Continue. You got started. You have to ride this right out to the bitter end. It's all on you.
All else aside, the issue of whether we will get a new judge remains unresolved as of today. The presiding judge may still grant our notice, in which case the matter will be assigned to a new judge, and she may deny the notice, in which case we will immediately appeal. But if it's an unsigned minute entry order, then you can't appeal it. If Judge Fisk removes Mata from the case, this creates a real procedural mess, because it means the new judge technically won't be able to consider the arguments raised in the post-trial motions to vacate, etc., since those motions have already been denied. I assume that is exactly why Mata issued the decision today, purely to try and block Laura from having a new judge correct the damage caused by the June 17th ruling. But that plan is doomed to fail. Family Law Rule 85B sub 4 permits, indeed requires, that void orders be set aside. So let's say in the next 30 days, Judge Fisk comes back and removes Mata from the case. We will then immediately bring a motion asking the new judge to vacate today's order denying Laura's post-trial motions, and that will open the door for a new judge to rule on the issues again, just like today's order never existed. Ultimately, if the Judge Fisk denies our request to disqualify Mata, that basically has zero impact on the case. We would simply appeal that issue along with everything else, and I'm confident the Court of Appeals will not look kindly as to what happened here. Thus, the Court of Appeals will still send this back for a new trial, and that would involve an automatic change of judge as the matter of right under different Rule 6, not 6.1.
All this procedural nonsense aside, he said it, I didn't. There will be a day when all these issues are resolved. Just sign the paper, Judge. On one way or another, Laura is entitled to her day in court, in front of a judge who is fair, unbiased, who cares about the rules, and who actually follows those rules. That day hasn't come yet, but it will. P.S. I forgot to mention. P.S. He hasn't even finished yet. P.S. I forgot to mention one important issue that JFC has been consistently wrong about. No, Laura does not have to post a bond to appeal. That is a common misconception and is 10,000% flat wrong. Has nothing to do with the issue of monetary versus non-monetary relief. A bond is only required to stop post-judgment collection efforts, but that shouldn't be an issue here. If you see anyone claiming that Laura can't appeal unless she posts a bond, please know that person has no clue what they're talking about. Again, I will agree with him on this point. And no, Laura cannot, as a matter of law, be declared vexatious. Yeah. Becoming a vexatious, you actually have to work really, really hard to become a vexatious litigant. Arizona law only allows pro se litigant. Oh, that's kind of cool. So you can't, if you can hire a lawyer to do all this shitty, dirty work for you, if you can afford it, and you can't be considered a vexatious litigant. That's interesting.
However, this action was filed initially pro se.
Mm-hmm. Still, you have to be in court so many times over so many stupid little things it's actually really quite hard to become a designated vexatious litigant. People who are she unfortunately isn't there yet. People who are represented by counsel like Laura are excluded from the vexatious litigant statutes. PPS Friday. Comments are unhelpful bile, so turning them off. All right. Hypocrite. Just great insight from Reddit. I think this is his only plan, as I understand, to appeal Mata's ruling. JD would have to post bond for the amount awarded to Clayton. She apparently does not have the funds for that. No, like you said, you post the bond to prevent them from collecting on the money that's owed. You can continue the appeal and just, while they're trying to enforce it against you. But I'm sure there's lots of witty things to read down here. But I would prefer to have a life today. I prefer to. I can see the sun poking through the clouds again
for the first time in 3 weeks.
Well, it was a month this morning. It was like a month.
Oh, jeez.
The sun was out for a full hour, and then it got cloudy, but it's coming out again. So wake up the pig dogs we haven't been looking at. It's
Get a little walk in. I'm sure they'll
walk them
enjoy
around
the test.
walk them around the building, and then they'll just drop back asleep again. Wow, that wore me down.
Which, yeah, and
just that whole thing today wore me down.
I did the dramatic reading, and it took me an hour and a half just to do the whole thing straight through.
Yeah, we're 3.5 hours into this. It was fun for like the first half, and then it just became pure tedium.
And we skipped a lot of the even more tedious parts.
Yeah, that motion was just excessive.
Well,
just excessive.
For him doing his due diligence to ensure that every appealable option is on the table when he does try and take it to the appeals court, it's purposefully there, but it seems tedious when you're looking at it.
Well, like you said, he said we could have 100 pages of error, but we're only going to do 32.
Yeah.
It's brain drain. It's not a word when it kind of is. That's just dumb.
If you're going to throw the spaghetti on the wall, throw all of the spaghetti, not just a couple pieces.
I mean, the chances of judges don't like it when you go over. We can watch Yoda digging in the bed here.
I saw chat was asking, did they sanctify the bed again?
Oh no, just the ones. It's hard work. It's hard work digging a comfortable sleeping spot
in the fluffiest part of the bed, no less.
What's up? What's up, photo bomber?
Pet me, daddy.
What's up, photo bomber? What's up? And Yoda has collapsed. We've had the collapse of Yoda. If the exertion was too much, what do you think? What do you think, Teef? What do you think, Teef?
Teefers.
What's up? Got the teeth going. What's up? Yoda's an extremist over here.
I saw the smile out there.
We should put him on some epilepsy medicine, see if he gets pregnant. What's up, Teef? Teef. Sorry. I'm probably weirding everybody out, but that's just kind of what I do most of my day with the dogs. Just laugh at the way they look and the dumb shit they do.
Mine just made his let's see, can I get my zoom and enhance going? Let's see.
Jeff, your dog fell over. Yeah, he did. He does that occasionally.
My little boy over here.
See, just doing what dogs should do. Just lay there quietly.
He had just rotated himself.
Yoda seems to have gone turtle and can't get back up. Just laying there. Oh, there you go. All right, fine. Your dog should have a channel. You should have a channel just for your dogs. Why does Yoda think of his appearance in the Acolyte? Oh, Yoda appeared in the Acolyte?
Yes.
Oh, God. I want to hate watch it, but it just looks so bad.
It's so bad, and if you don't know the spoiler for one of the last episodes, it's even worse.
All right.
Do you want to know the spoiler?
Well, I couldn't begin to care less about spoilers, but in case someone out there is really, really wanting to know what happens next in the Acolyte and they're not caught up yet.
Well, it's finished now, I think.
Yeah, but some people may still be behind. It's still fresh. I wouldn't want to spoil it. I mean, I personally don't care because I'm never going to watch it, no matter how much I just want to hate watch. But anyway, it's late for you. It's my afternoon is now started and is wasting away with Jingers and company. So I think we should pull the ripcord.
Yeah. There's the
what?
Yeah. That's the level of stupidity that we're dealing with.
How is that even a thing?
It's not a thing. It's not explained in canon elsewhere.
No, they just kind of are the way they are. And don't you have to like search out the one that you need?
Yeah, so it has to find
Yeah.
you and you have to attune with
Yeah.
it. And because this thing also, that didn't happen.
Oh, that's so dumb. All right. More reasons not to watch the show.
Right.
All right, everybody. Mods, thank you so much, as always, for being super moddy and doing your awesomest. And awesomest is a word, so take that, Jingers. It's man. And thank you, chat, for the super chats, the gifted memberships, the monthly memberships, all the support. As I said at the beginning, just anybody that parts with any amount of money for any reason to support this channel is just a hero and graciously and gratefully accepted. And even those of you that are just here in chat, hanging out, watching, keeping each other company, and the don't donate or give, totally cool, not required, not even asked for, except for on occasional situations, mostly F at Friday. But you know, you're just people just hanging out in chat when they could literally be doing anything else in the entire universe. Be anywhere, doing anything with anyone. You choose to be here with me, and so that's awesome. And IT Goatee Brad chose to be here with me, but I forgot to invite him for the first hour and a half. I totally forgot about that. And then
you were just going, and I was like, you know what? He just woke up, so I'm just not even gonna like bother you because you know we'll make it up in the end. So.
And so I was bringing you on as the surprise. I thought we'd throw in Megan as a bonus because I kind of looked over at Twitter and went, oh,
whoops.
Oh, yeah. Well, first of all, you said we can sync up another time. I'm like, what the hell is he talking about? Then I scrolled up and Friday evening. That's today. That's now. Sorry about that.
No, that's good, man.
So, we have IT Goatee Brad and Megan Fox earlier. Oh, now this is how he gets up on the chair. For those of you that have never seen how she gets up, that's how she gets up on her chair. She climbs up through the side there.
That's funny.
That's how she assumes her position on her throne in there. So, all right, Megan Fox, IT Brad, check him out. Brad's the guy. He's the man. He's the man that somehow manages to keep Megan Fox on the air.
And apparently every other lawyer that's doing YouTube.
oh yeah?
Because I had to help one of Nick Staro's guests today because her YouTube has been hacked and apparently all of her videos were deleted and or renamed.
Oof. That's not good.
So.
Well, all right, folks. Take care. Thank you for being here. We'll see you on Monday for another edition of Maritime Monday.
Woo.
No idea what it's going to be yet. So I can't give you a preview, but it'll be something.
Yeah.
Take care, peeps. Brad, thanks for being here.
Thanks.
And Straub, Yoda, wherever Yoda, Yoda's under the table. See you all, everybody. Good night. Goodbye. Have an awesome weekend. We'll catch you on Maritime Monday, which unironically is on Monday. Bye. We're still here. You know why we're still here? I forgot to push the end stream button. I was going to push the end stream button, but I accidentally pushed the hide the banner thing. So
whoops.
Let's try that again. That's why we're still here. Not for any reason. I don't have anything to say to you people in chat. I just messed up. Bye.